West clash for football supremacy in Canada.
Well, folks, I guess at this point you're wondering who's going to win this afternoon's ball game. Well, if it's any satisfaction to you, I don't know either. However, I might be in a better spot at the moment, and a spot I'd like you to share, because we have with us at the moment 4 outstanding football personalities. 2 from the East, 2 from the West. All 4 of them well equipped to bring us behind the scenes of this afternoon's big game. From the nation's capital, the coach of the Ottawa Rough Riders, Mr. Frank Clare.
Hello, football fans.
Next, we have with us the Player of the Year from the Edmonton Eskimos, star halfback Jackie Parker. Next, the Lineman of the Year from the Ottawa Rough Riders, Kay Vaughn.
Hello.
Next, we have with us the coach of the 3 times winning Grey Cup champions from Edmonton, Pop Ivy. And now, folks, before we do some more quarterbacking here with our distinguished visitors from the East and the West, let's go back to Varsity Stadium for Steve Douglas and Ted Reynolds to bring you the tossing of the coin ceremony and more or less the general weather and field conditions.
How do you do, everybody? Steve Douglas along with Ted Reynolds at Varsity Stadium, Toronto, site of the 57 Grey Cup game. This afternoon, as a special innovation to our television viewers from coast to coast, 2 captains, Buddy Tinsley of Winnipeg and Steve Onischuk of Hamilton, as they congregate at the center of the field on the midfield stripe for the toss of the coin. Let's go out there.
Mr. Maxwell, the same as Mr. Dozak. And to you likewise. We'll call the East and the West to make the call of the coin. Your choice, Mr. Onischuk. You will receive. Your choice of ends. You will defend that end. You will receive in this end. We'll swing you around, and I'll indicate. Is there anything you want to discuss? Oh, God, he's a cop. Okay, we'll refer to you as the Blues, and we'll refer to you as the Yellows, rather than East or West or Winnipeg or Hamilton. Have a good game. Thank you very much.
Okay, the Hamilton Ticats will receive the opening kickoff at 1 o'clock this afternoon here in Toronto. Winnipeg Blue Bombers kicking off. The condition of the field, let's get it from Ted Reynolds.
Afternoon, everybody. Steve, I checked the field about 45 minutes ago, and it will definitely not be a factor in this afternoon's game. The condition of the field at Varsity Stadium is just about as perfect as it can possibly be of a late November afternoon. The tarp came up at 11 o'clock this morning after being down since Wednesday. The field is in very fine shape.
Weather-wise, Ted, overcast skies greeted the teams as they took the field for their initial practice today. The temperature in the mid-30s and lowering rapidly. Forecast for possible snow flurries later in the day. In just a moment, Larry O'Brien with a prediction on today's game, and his special guests, Jackie Parker, Pop Ivy, and Frank Clare. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast.
And now, before we diagnose some key plays to be expected this afternoon from both Winnipeg and Hamilton, what do you say, folks, we check in with the experts and see how they're calling the shots for this afternoon's game? Coach Frank Clare.
Well, Larry, I definitely have to go along today with the Tiger Cats. I felt all along that they're a very fine club, particularly defensively, and I think that they have enough offense. Evidently, Trimble has opened his offense up in the last football game he played in, and I feel that he has tremendous potential there, and I feel that their defense particularly will carry them along. So I'm going to say maybe 18-17 in favor of the Tiger Cats.
Well, Coach, I can't hardly agree with you there because, that Winnipeg club's got a real terrific defense, too. And they also can move that ball. And from what I saw about the Hamilton offense is they didn't look like they had too much imagination. So I'm going to have to go with Winnipeg and call it by about 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, but Jack, don't you think that cup ought to come back over here in the East for a little while?
No, Kay, I certainly don't. But go ahead with your choice, Kay.
Well, I'll take Hamilton by 1 touchdown.
Well, I'm going to pick badly bruised and battered Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the basis that they have a little more speed and finesse than the Hamilton Ticats.
All right, those are the predictions as cast by our 2 experts from the East and 2 from the West. Now let's diagnose some key plays. First of all, Hamilton's offense Coach Frank Clare of Ottawa, who had to look at that offense all season. Frank, where do you figure the strong points of Hamilton's ground and aerial attack will lie? And in other words, to, shall we say, tip us off what we can expect from the Eastern champions this afternoon.
Well, Larry, I could show you on the board here and go over the strong points of the Hamilton attack. We assume, of course, we're watching from the TV for football fans today that they're running the ball this way, of course, and this is a defense, and this is the Hamilton team on offense. The Hamilton team has been strictly a power team, not necessarily a lot of fancy plays, but very powerful. Of course, the powerful man, of course, in here, of all boys, is McDougall, who has played either one of these spots, but we'll say right now he's in here. Cookie Gilchrist is a very powerful fullback, as you know, back in here, and Bernie Filoni, who's a wonderful ball handler, in here at this spot. Those are the key players in this. Now, in the belly play like this, which they've used, excuse me, McDougall has broken through here. This is one of the plays he used very well against us, and he fakes the ball here, or gives the ball, running through that area, with Gilchrist coming off tackle here. If they want to give the ball off, they'll hand the ball here to him going off tackle. That is one of their basic plays and strong plays that they have. The other thing that they've been very effective with this year is a rollout type pass, which Kenny Plain and I know Jackie Parker here has made a living with for a long time. But they haven't used this a lot, but they're very effective when they use it. Here they have Filoni again under the ball. Here is Gilchrist in this spot. They're in a double wing formation a lot, and what they do is they roll out with the ball. They roll out fast. They pull a guard here and pull and get this ahead. The end decker will come down and go out about 15 yards with the flanking back, Golston, or a boy out there going deep. And the ball is thrown either to the end bobbles coming across or to possibly the end of these three combinations of throwing the ball in here. Decker is the most logical receiver.
Well, Frank, what about those trap plays the Hamilton team used to great advantage over
Well,
the Rough Riders this
I'd like
year?
to bring Kay up here and ask Kay. I guess he should know by now. We've certainly gone on him enough about the weakest thing, Kay, you can run against, or what you've got to watch out for when you're a tackle playing against a trapping team. What is your first reaction?
Well,
See if he's right on this now.
I hate to talk about this trap. I'm rather embarrassed because I have been hurt quite a few times this year. I think it's possibly their best play. They use a lot of double teams on their offense. They'll double team with the center and guard in here on the middle guard, pulling their left guard and trapping me.
This is ball in here.
And it makes
Our lineman of the year.
It's an old play, but it's a pretty tough thing to stop a lot of times. Of course, I don't think Buddy Tinsley from Winnipeg, if he's playing in their defense, will have too much trouble with it, because I remember at the All-Star game last year when Buddy's playing his defensive tackle, he really closes it down on a five-man liner. In other words, to stop this trap, you must really fire on in here and move everything right on down into the center.
See, Pop, you're getting all this information for free, and you're not in the Grey Cup file. How about we swing our attention to the West now, Frank Clare, and find out what we can expect from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the Western champions. Coach Pop Ivy, of course, who lost his Eskimos lost the Western final. Pop, would you mind telling us what we can expect from the Winnipeg offense, and shall we say what the Winnipeg plays killed you in the Western final?
Well, Larry, now let's don't say that. It wasn't the Winnipeg plays that killed us. It was the Eskimo plays that killed us. But the Winnipeg Blue Bombers line up in what we speak of as a double fullback system, with Jerry James playing here. Normally Shepard is in this position, but I assume it will be Miller today. Dennis Mendick, their right halfback. Leo Lewis, their left halfback, a very strong runner. All four of those kids can run well with the ball. And of course their quarterback is Kenny Plain, a very fine lad from University of Iowa. From their straight set and their basic offense, is run something like this. A real quick handoff that hits right in here, with a quarterback spinning around and handing that ball off as the fullback dives in there very quickly behind straightaway blocking. Now they'll fake that play, and they'll give it to Lewis coming over here, with Jerry James coming up, and both guards pulling. The right guard and James will double team the end out. They block down here. The other guard will pull and lead up the field, the halfback around, and they give that ball to Lewis, who will cut off tackle or out around end. Now, also from that, Plain will bootleg and
how about some of their pass plays? I hear that Kenny Plain, of course, is most dangerous on any aerial attack that he
Well,
has.
that's
quick pitch.
true, Larry. This, of course, one of the strongest plays in their offense is a double flanker, a quick pitch to James, running wide behind the tackle and guard leading up the field. Now, I think you will also see him in what we speak of as a triple flanker formation. And Jackie, you've seen a lot of this. What are the Blue Bombers going to be doing when they come up and line up in that formation with those three flankers set out here? Only one man left and playing in here at quarterback.
Well, Pop, usually their play, as you well know, and they hurt us quite a lot with it, is the pitch here and this man running wide, or the quarterback running wide with an option of throwing, or the straight drop back pass. They also will set these three men out, and the quarterback will quarterback sneak the ball in any of these holes here. And it was a real tough formation for us to defense against. They hurt us quite a bit with it, and I think that Hamilton can expect to see this offense quite a bit today.
We'll be watching those plays very, very closely. Of course, I want to thank Jackie Parker and Pop Ivy for bringing us behind the scenes, of course, on the strong points of the Winnipeg attack. Frank, Claire, and Kay Vaughn, of course, for acquainting us with the various offensive patterns to be used by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Right after this telecast, ladies and gentlemen, right after the game, we'll have interviews with the stars of this afternoon's 1957 Grey Cup game. Until then, this is your Grey Cup football telecast.
This is Varsity Stadium again, and to give you the starting lineups, here are Steve Douglas and Ted Reynolds.
Thank you, Bing Whittaker. Well, the starting offensive lineup for the Western representatives, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, is Coach Bud Grant. At left end, Frank Gilliam, number 74, Frank Gilliam. And at right end, Ernie Pitts, the speedball, number 77, Ernie Pitts. At left tackle, Stav Kanakis, number 68, Kanakis. And at right tackle, number 65, Bob Hobart, Bob Hobart. At left guard, All-Star Herb Gray, number 53, Herb Gray. At right guard, John Michaels, number 50, John Michaels. And the center, All-Star Canadian center, George Drucksmann, number 43, Drucksmann. The quarterback is number 89, the dandy from Iowa, Kenny Plain. Kenny Plain. At left half, Leo Lewis, number 99, Leo Lewis. At right half, Dennis Mendick, number 85, Dennis Mendick. At left fullback, starting at least, is the star punter, Charlie Shepard, number 91, Shepard. And at right fullback, the leading scorer, the record scorer in the WIFU and the Canadian of the Year, Jerry James, number 98, Jerry James. That's the way the West will start offensively, Steve.
All right, Ted, the Hamilton Tiger Cats will go like this in their starting offensive lineup. At left end, Paul Decker, number 75, Decker. At right end, Ray Bobble, number 72. And quickly, let's dispel any question about pronunciation of his name. Spelled B-A-W-E-L, but pronounced Bobble. At left tackle, Dave Szyminski, number 64, Szyminski. At right tackle, Johnny Barrow, number 61, Barrow. Left guard, Jack Davis, number 66, Davis. At right guard, Big P.W. Underwood, number 60, Underwood. And starting at offensive center will be Bob Kelly, number 44. In the Ticat backfield at quarterback, Bernie Filoni, number 92. At left half, Ralph Goldston, he's number 88. At right half, Cookie Gilchrist, number 85. At fullback, the hard-charging, driving force on the ground for the Ticats, Jerry McDougall, number 95. And at flying wing, as Coach Jim Trimble designates the odd man in his backfield, will be speedster Eddie Macon, number 90. That's the Hamilton offense. Ted gave you the Winnipeg situation. As game time approaches, there is more and more color here within the confines of Varsity Stadium in Toronto. It's going on in the field right now, and the man to best tell you the story is Bing Whittaker.
What's going on in the field right now is the Tiger Cat Band and the Tiger Cat Drum Majorettes. They've been out here for about a half an hour and have been going through various routines. And we had a bit of a misfortune a little bit earlier. The Winnipeg Bomberettes made their appearance, and they looked very attractive indeed. But owing to a union technicality, The ceremonial kickoff this afternoon will be performed by the Prime Minister, Mr. Diefenbaker. As yet, we have not seen the official party arrive, and we'll try to pick them up for you just as soon as they come in the west gates. Marching to the south end of the field, where this year you can just begin to see the GR in great white letters. In the end zone, Grey Cup at both ends of the field. The music for the halftime ceremony this afternoon will be provided by the Governor General's Horse Guards Band. They are just now coming on the field at the north end, and we will see them briefly before their long routine at halftime. You can see the stands are practically filled now, still about 8 or 9 minutes before kickoff. And the record here is something like 27,400 people in Varsity Stadium, and certainly there will be at least that many here this afternoon. The Tiger Cats have just come out on the sidelines. They're coming in is Miss Grey Cup, who is Miss Carol Lucas, this British Columbia Lion, who won this competition last night and won the sports car in which she's driving. Carol has auburn hair, dark brown eyes, is 18 years old, and was born and brought up in Vancouver. She graduated with top honors from South Burnaby High School in June and is now enrolled at the University of British Columbia. Very attractive young lady, as you can see. She looks well bundled up for the game this afternoon, too. She takes a very keen interest in athletics and also likes to do a bit of sewing and cooking. And she plays the drums and sings a bit. Very active in social groups. Is a member of various school organizations and is also a cheerleader. She wants to be a physical education instructor and do part-time modeling. Those are the Tiger Cats, representing the East in the Grey Cup this year. Boys are warming up now. They've been out in the field. We just happened to come by the stadium when their bus arrived, and they had some difficulty in getting the door open to get in. And there, of course, is Mr. Diefenbaker.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you will turn to the centerpiece of your program, we will give you the player changes for the game.
Among the photographers out there in the official party are Mr. Diefenbaker, Mr. D.F. Downey, QC, President of the Canadian Rugby Union, Mayor Jackson of Hamilton, Mayor Juba of Winnipeg, Mayor Phillips of Toronto, also Mr. Fred Gardner, Chairman of the Metropolitan Board of Greater Toronto. And we understand that when Mr. Diefenbaker makes the ceremonial kickoff, the ball will be held by Mayor Jackson of Hamilton. I believe this was arrived at by a coin toss.
Number 52, Kovac. Number 63, Newton. Number 65, Krebs. Number 70, Bailey. Number 76, Dawson. And number 98, Andrew Jackson. The officials for today's
The presentation to Miss Grey Cup has been concluded. Now the official party is waiting for the arrival on the field of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And I believe you'll be a little bit surprised in the West when you see them. I don't know the full story, but certainly Ted Reynolds or Steve Douglas will be telling you about it this afternoon. It has something to do with the jerseys. And unfortunately, owing to a ruling, the Winnipeg club is not playing in their magnificent white uniforms this afternoon. They will be wearing the dark. Hamilton, you see before you, in their bright yellow with the black numbers, white streaks on the helmets. That 92 you saw throwing the ball is Bernie Filoni, well known in the West as well as in the East. The officials have now just come onto the field. It doesn't usually happen that the official party, particularly with the traffic we've had in Toronto this morning, arrives early. And such was the case for this ceremonial kickoff. The kickoff is scheduled for 1 o'clock Toronto time. And that's about 4.5 minutes from now, approximately. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Coach Bud Grant, probably watching the watch. They're going to arrive on the field in time. There come the Bombers now with their dark blue jerseys with the gold numbers, and they're going to be a little difficult for the boys to see this afternoon, although with the field dry as it is, if the rain holds off, and it looks as if it might, the numbers will be a bit clearer. The Bombers in the south end of the field will kick off to Hamilton in the north, and there's very little wind. First of all, we will have the ceremonial kickoff. Down on the sidelines, the officials for the afternoon's game being presented to the Prime Minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official party now proceeding to the center of the field is made up of Prime Minister Diefenbaker, James Downey, President of the Canadian Rugby Union.
I believe the record in football game kickoffs, ceremonial kickoffs, is held by one-time Governor General of Canada, Lord Alexander. I don't know about the football background of Prime Minister Diefenbaker. I believe the distance for Lord Alexander was something like 25 yards, but the Prime Minister was unable to get it down the field because it hit the photographers. This game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium. Canada, God Save the Queen. We're ready for the kickoff, and to call the first quarter, Ted Reynolds.
Thanks very much, Bing, and good afternoon again. Well, this game is just about to get underway. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who are in blue and gold, to your right at the south end of Varsity Stadium, kicking off to the Hamilton Ticats, who are in gold with white and gold helmets, black numerals. The north end to the left, and the deep men for the Hamilton Ticats. On the near side, McDougald. In the center is Bubble, and on the far side, Eddie Macon, the fleet man. Jerry James, number 98, the man who scored 131 points in the Western Interprovincial Football Union this past season, and the outstanding Canadian player in football, will do the kicking. We're just being held up for a moment while referee-in-chief Paul Dojak makes a last-minute time with his timers and officials. The referee is Dojak from Regina. The first umpire is Johnny Monroe from Toronto. Bill Nairn from Winnipeg is umpire number 2. Norm Maxwell from Hamilton, umpire number 3. The field judge is Tom Daly of Ottawa, and the headlinesman is Taylor Patterson of Regina. And the 1957 edition of Canada's Great Sport Classic is just about to get underway. Jerry James moves up to the ball. Here it goes, and the game is underway. The kick is coming down to center to Bobble. Bobble is up past the 20-25 to the 30 across the 30-yard line. Bibbles Bobble takes the kickoff back and is stopped in there by number 97, reliable Gordy Rowland. James booted that ball 61 yards, and Bobble brought it back 27 yards. It's right on the 30-yard line, where it is the Hamilton Ticats first and 10. For the Ticats in the backfield, Filoni, Golston, Gilchrist, McDougall, and Macon. Flankers out to the right. Filoni's going to pass on the first offensive play. He's hit. The ball was almost intercepted down there. It was hit by Michaels. He couldn't hang on to it. Patrick, the middle guard, came crashing through on Bernie Filoni, who tried to cross up Winnipeg on the first play of the game with a forward pass. Michaels almost intercepted. It's 2nd and 10 for the Eastern champions at their own 30. Filoni's handoff in the middle. McDougall is piled up after getting 2, maybe 3 yards. We'll wait and see. And it will be a kicking situation for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 3rd down. And they've got about 7 yards to go. Steve Patrick, once again, number 63, came crashing in on McDougall. And Michaels, number 50. So it's 3rd and a good 7 yards to go. Ron Latterell and number 97, Gordy Rowland, are the deep men. There they are. Cam Fraser from his own 20 gets away a good Fraser kick. It's coming down to the 25-yard line. Picked up there by Rowland, and he's hit immediately. He got back maybe 1 yard, no more. Cam Fraser lifted that ball 51 yards. Tommy Grant came in to mow him down, and if Shepard is fit to kick, we could have a tremendous duel between the Winnipeg Booter and Hamilton's far-famed Cam Fraser. One man the Western fans have been particularly anxious to see in action. Winnipeg taking the ball offensively for the first time, have it 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. Kenny Plain, the kid from Iowa, is the quarterback. A straight double fullback formation with a flanker wide out to the left. Plain fakes. He's rolling out to the left. Plain is going to carry. They're in pursuit. A good block. Springs him loose. Plain is still going. And Kenny Plain is down across the 37 to the 38-yard line before veteran Vince Scott, number 53, comes in to stop him. But it's a first down, the first down of the 1957 Grey Cup game. A typical Kenny Plain maneuver with a tremendous block that sprung him loose at the 30-yard line. Herb Gray, the offensive guard and defensive left end, made that tremendous block that sprung Plain loose for the first down. Now he has a flanker to the right. Mendick is 10 yards out. Plain with the pitch. Across the 40, jump dive to the 45, 46-yard line before being hit by a maze of Hamilton tacklers. Carrying the ball that time was number 93, Nick Miller. Nick Miller will be in there probably a lot more than Charlie Shepard. The chances are Shepard will do just the kicking. Second down and 3 yards to go for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We're early in the first quarter of this Grey Cup game. Plains pitches to the right. There goes Jerry James, and he is hit up at the 50-yard line. He may have the first down. We'll wait and see. Correction, it was Leo Lewis. It is first down. And the Lincoln locomotive, Leo Lewis, gets first down, number 2 of the football game. Tony Cursillo from the linebacking spot made the stop on Leo Lewis. Plains pitches to the right. There goes Jerry James. They're looking for him. He gets across the line of scrimmage, down for perhaps 2 yards. It'll be no more. Number 90, Eddie Macon, who gave James a little pat in the back as he got up, made the stop. A gain of 2 at second down and 8 yards to go. No score. The game just underway. And one big thrill so far provided on the first Winnipeg offensive play by Kenny Plain. Flanker wide to the left this time. Second down, 8 yards to go. Plain fakes. The rush is on him, and he's hit, thrown back at the 40-yard line for a loss of 12 yards. Scott came crashing in on him, along with Newman. So it's a kicking situation, a loss of 12. Kicking situation, the kicking team goes in for Winnipeg. There are your deep men, Ron Howell and Johnny Fedosoff. The kick by Charlie Shepard bounces at the 32. Fedosoff is to the 35, turned around and knocked down right on the 35-yard line where the Winnipeg Blue Bombers take over first and 10. Cornell Piper, number 58, hit him. A 41-yard kick by Charlie Shepard. On his first effort, Cam Fraser lifted it 51 yards. As we pointed out, this could be a tremendous game from the kicking point of view. A great duel. Winnipeg setting the defenses without starry linebacker Pete Mangum, of course. They have Michaels in with Cease Looney moved up at the defensive end. On the first play, Cookie Gilchrist, showing his stuff to Western viewers for only the second time, that is via television, gets across. Dave Saminsky made the block. Poloni fakes. Now he throws out here in the flat. It's no good. Meant for Cookie Gilchrist. He couldn't hang on to it. He was being rushed. And by the looks of things, they're going to hit and hit hard in this football game. The big question is whether it will be all defense or whether perhaps one lucky break might spring somebody loose and provide a high-scoring game. Ron Latterell back along with Gordy Rowland as it's third down and 7 for the Hamilton Ticats, whose offense so far has not been able to move. Cam Fraser's at his own 35, kicks for the 25, kicks from the 29. The kick comes down to Rowland at the 30, and Rowland squeaked about an extra 3 yards, getting back to the 38-yard line where it'll be Winnipeg first and 10. A 42-yard kick that time. Billy Graham, number 83, was in there to put the stop on Gordy Rowland. Winnipeg's offensive unit, guided by Kenny Plain, goes out. The line, Gilliam, Kanakis, Gray, Drucksmann, Michaels, Hobart, and Pitts from left to right. Middle guard Vince Scott leading the defenders for Hamilton. Hamilton in at 6-3-3. Flanker left for the Bombers this time. There's no score in the first quarter of this Grey Cup game. There's the pitch. Running wide out to this side across the 40. And a fumble intercepted by Bobble. Bobble heading down the line. He may go all the way. Bobble is really turning it on. He's over in the corner. Touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Dennis Mendick had the ball fumbled right out of his hands in the air. It was picked up by Bobble, and he scampered 47 yards for the first score of the game. The Hamilton Tiger Cats lead the Winnipeg Blue Bombers by a score of 6-0. Honestchuk will attempt the conversion. Ray Truant will hold. Ball is back. It's up. It is good. The score, Hamilton 7 and Winnipeg no score. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast. Well, we mentioned breaks in the game. There was a break and a bit of tremendous heads-up defensive play by Bobble. He scampered 47 yards and he turned it on. So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will kick off now to, or rather the Hamilton Ticats will kick off to the Bombers with 9 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the first period. James and Lewis are the deep man. A short kick. Grabbed by the Winnipeg Bombers, but who got it? The Ticats were in there too. We'll have to wait till a maze of bodies are unpiled. Everybody is rallying round. Let's wait and see. Hamilton Tiger Cats got that ball. Another bit of great heads-up football by these Ticats, who are off and running. Gino DeNoble on the short kickoff, an old Edmonton trick, pulled very successfully on a couple of occasions in Grey Cup games in the last couple of years. So it is Hamilton, 1st and 10. They are at the Winnipeg 42-yard line. They lead 7-0. Graham flanking wide to the right. Maloney fakes the handoff. He's going to throw. Just a little bit too long and too high for Harry Lampman down at the 30-yard line. Lampman was being covered over there mainly by number 70 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Norm Rahaus. Maloney has attempted 3, has not completed a pass yet. But he was getting far better protection and had a lot more time to throw that one than his first couple. Flanker to the right again. Direct handoff. Cookie Gilchrist plows through the center. Make that Goldston, and he gets to the 37-yard line. 3rd down, kicking situation, and the deep men, Latterell and Roland, drop back inside their own end zone. Roland is standing about 10 yards in. Cam Fraser will kick from the Winnipeg 50-yard line. High snap, but he gets it away. A high kick, short. It's not going to the end zone. Bounces in. Picked up by Latterell. Did he get out? He got to that. Yes, he is out just by a hair's breadth. He was hit down there and hit very fast. Booming in on top of him for the Ticats is Tommy Grant, along with Gino DeNoble. DeNoble was the man who made that offensive series possible by getting on top of the ball after the short kickoff. Winnipeg trailing the Hamilton Ticats 7-0, and we're in the first quarter here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto, a tremendously colorful place, as you can imagine right now. Flankers to the left, calling signals, Kenny Plain. Plain on a quarterback sneak, gets out for 5, 6, 7, 8. He's pushed back, but his forward progress got him almost to the 10-yard line. Tremendous drive. Vince Scott was in to make the stop. As Pop Ivy, the coach of the Edmonton Eskimos, said, this kid digs all his cleats into the turf. There was a pretty good example of what Pop meant. When he starts driving, he drives. It's 2nd, about a yard, a little better. Plain on a long count. Hand off on that far side, getting up across the line of scrimmage was Nick Miller. And let's wait and see. He might have gained a foot. He didn't gain any more, and we're getting the first measurement of the game. It's close, but they take no chances, particularly on Grey Cup Day. The referee-in-chief from Regina is Paul Dojak. Hamilton, 7, Winnipeg, no score. If it was a foot, it was certainly no more. It looked more like about 6 inches. So going into the game again, and obviously, for the present at least, he is only going to kick Charlie Shepard, number 91. Ron Howell and Johnny Fedosif are the deep men standing just about midfield. Howell is closest to you. Shepard has got a kick from his own end zone. Third down and inches. Bombers are backed in there, and they were not able to move the ball against that Hamilton line. The snap, good snap. Shepard, lots of time, but he gets away a very short, wobbly kick. It bounces at his own 45. A good bounce for him across the 50, and Howell tripped and falls. He is down at the 46-yard line. Hit by Keith Pierce, who just lay on him to stop him after he had tripped. 44-yard kick. The wind is hardly a factor in this game. Stavkinakis was also in there to make sure that once Howell was down, he stayed down. So the Ticats, leading 7-0, take over. First and 10. Bernie Poloni, no stranger to you Westerners, of course, gives the ball to Cookie Gilchrist, and he is pulled down by Gordy Rowland, number 97. Rowland, a tremendous defensive strength for the Winnipeg team, had that one all figured out. Give him half a yard, make it second down, 9.5 to go. Actually, he just got back to about the line of scrimmage. Graham on the near side, Golson flanking on the far side. Poloni to Gilchrist. Gilchrist 35, 30. He is rolled out of bounds at the 29-yard line. The official right on top of the play. He wasn't going to stop till somebody made him stop, but he had stepped out of bounds. The officials put it on the 29. That's the first completion for Bernie Poloni. First down passing, it's first and 10. Winnipeg 29-yard line. Poloni checks. McDougald. And they're hitting in there and hitting hard. McDougald gets to the 25-yard line, a gain of 4. Second down and 6 yards to go. Steve Patrick, number 63, once again in there to put the stop on him. Patrick is flanked by Savoy and Tinsley. 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Poloni snaps the signal. On count this time. Oh! McDougald down to the 10. 7. He is down still on his feet. He crosses, but it was ruled that he was encircled at about the 6, maybe the 5-yard line. Keith Pierce had a hold of him, and that McDougald just flecked a couple of biceps. And man, oh man, he was shaking them off. It was ruled that he had been stopped, encircled, I believe is the rule, the way they describe it. And after going 19, a first down, the ball is at the 6-yard line, where it is first down and goal to go for these hungry Hamiltons. Poloni on a sneak. Poloni heading for that line. He is right on the goal line. No, touchdown! The official ruling touchdown. We had to wait because the first official to go in there did not raise the arms. Touchdown for Poloni on the sneak. It is Hamilton 13, Winnipeg no score. The Ticats moved 46 yards in 5 plays. McDougald's breathtaking burst was the big one, along with Bernie Poloni's first completed pass. Steve Honestchuk will attempt the conversion. Another high snap, and they're going to try and run with it. No, a lateral is knocked down, picked up, no good. Well, that was a bit of desperation. I've got this thing here, I don't want it. The ball is picked up by the official. There is no conversion. Naturally, they never did get to kick the ball. The Bombers wanted to go and pick it up and run. They could not. The score remains the Hamilton Ticats 13, Winnipeg Blue Bombers no score. A bad snap nullifying the attempt to make it 14. So the Hamilton Ticats once more will kick off to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Chet Mixon, number 46, will do the kicking. Great big guy, 230-pounder, 6'2". He gets his foot under it, and it's bouncing at the 25. Finally picked up at the 25 by Michaels. Michaels in the middle, and he is thrown down by number 74, Pete Newman. So the Bombers take over their first and 10. This game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium.
What's your pleasure? Quality or service? Here's Two Top, the shell dealer who has a head or two on his shoulders, so he gives you both.
First and 10 for the Blue Bombers. They trail 13-0. We're still in the first quarter. Kenny Plain is at quarterback. Straight double fullback formation. Fake. Handoff is to Leo Lewis, and Lewis gets across the line of scrimmage, a gain of about 3. Vince Scott and those middle guards on both teams have been playing very well so far, and Dave Szymanski in along with Scott. Second down, 7 yards to go for the Blue Bombers, who are down 13-0 in the first quarter with 5 minutes remaining unofficially. Now Plain has a flanker right. Plain is going back. His first drop back pass. He chooses his swingman, Jerry James, and he could not hang on to it. James is the safety valve out there. There's a lot of... It is a lateral pass. There was a lot of contention about that exact play in one of the Winnipeg-Edmonton games. So you've got a kicking situation once more for the Blue Bombers on third down. They lost ground on the lateral pass. Charlie Shepard stands back at his own 15. Gets a good boot away. It's coming down to the 40. Taken by Ronnie Howell. Howell is across the 45. Howell heading for those sidelines. Runs out of bounds. Taking a few photographers, some of his own players, and a few defenders too, just at midfield. Well, they're marking it at the Hamilton 54-yard line, where it's Ticats first and 10. 39 yards. And Mr. Howell helped the Ticats cause considerably, getting that ball back almost to midfield. As we said earlier, the field is in very fine shape. Its condition will certainly not be a factor here. There's Filoni with the pitch. Rookie Gilchrist fumbles. Nobody's got it yet. It's still rolling around. Ticats finally get it back at the 47-yard line. Gilchrist was hit hard by Gordy Rowland. He tried to get the ball. It fumbled away from him. One Winnipeg player had an opportunity to get it. Finally, quarterback Bernie Filoni found the thing and made it lie down for him. It's an 8-yard loss. It's second down and 18 yards to go for the Ticats. They're leading 13-0 late in the first quarter. Flanker wide out to the left this time for Hamilton. Filoni fakes. He's rolling to the left. Now he's throwing long for Graham. Over his head, too far. Graham was way out of bounds. Being covered over there by number 70, Norm Rawhouse. Winnipeg homebrew, 190 pounds, 6'1". Third down, and Cam Fraser will put his foot into operation again. Deep men are Latterell and Rowland. The numbers, for the benefit of those of you who try to read the numbers yourself, are not easy to read on the Winnipeg team. The sun is coming out. That may help a bit. Fraser gets it away. Coming down on this near side at the 25. Latterell slipped and is downed after getting back to the 27-yard line. Ron Latterell. Pete Newman, number 74, was down there. That is the shortest kick of the day on either side so far, a 38-yard boot by Cam Fraser. So the Blue Bombers have the ball, first and 10. They trail 13-0. The ball is at their own about the 28-yard line. And just a little pile of sawdust there. Kenny Plain calls those signals. Since the first play, he's not been able to get this Winnipeg team going. Leo Lewis spins off one tackler, falls forward to the 33-yard line. Finally stopped by the veteran Vince Scott. 9 years of it, and still going strong.
Here got 5 yards on the play. Scott makes the tackle.
Second down, 5 yards to go for Winnipeg. Bombers trailing 13-0 late in the first quarter. Straight double fullback formation again. Plain dropping straight back to pass. Gets good protection. No good. That pass was meant for number 74 of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Frank Gilliam, who incidentally was an old catching friend of Plain's from their days at Iowa. Gilliam goes down and cuts back across, and he just didn't get there in time. So it's kick again for Winnipeg, and the Hamilton defense has been superlative against the Western champions so far. The deep men are at their own 38-yard line. Ron Howell on the near side, Fedosov on the far side. Shepard gets away, a wobbler that bounces at the 40. Fedosov is across the 40, back to the 45, and pinned there by Ernie Pitts, number 77. 42-yard kick by Charlie Shepard, who must have just about that average, about 41 and a half. And there is the Winnipeg defensive team going out. The Winnipeg defensive team is missing one of its great stars, linebacker Pete Mangum. We have not heard a 3-minute whistle so far. The clock, which is unofficial, I'd like you to keep that in mind. The clock on the field is unofficial, but it says less than 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It's 13-0 for the Eastern champion Ticats. You're looking at the Winnipeg huddle, and at the moment we have an official's timeout while a check takes place with the on the official time. That's the official who was checking. Now we're having a little huddle. The boys in the striped shirts get together. Hamilton 13, Winnipeg no score. First quarter. It all started with a pickup of a fumble in the air by Bobble, who rambled 47 yards. Catwalked it down the sidelines for the first major score. Now we're ready to go. They got the whole thing settled again. In their own minds at least. Remind you again that there are 6 officials rather, instead of the usual 5. Maloney has 3 backs in tight, his flanker wide to the right. And Big Bud Tinsley went for quite a ride there. On the back of McDougald, he got right up in his back. Or was it Cookie Gilchrist? Yes, number 85, Cookie Gilchrist. Bud climbed up there, sat in his shoulders, and Gilchrist went 1 yard, which is a long way to go with 260 pounds of Bud Tinsley riding you. Graham flanks wide to the right. Maloney rushes on. He ducks away from one man. Now he's throwing long down here. No good. Meant for Cookie Gilchrist down to the 35-yard line of the Blue Bombers. He couldn't hang on to it. So it's third down. Better than 9 yards to go, and Fraser will move back in. Dropping back deep to their own 20 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Numbers 87 on the near side, Latterell on the far side, hands on hips, Gordy Rowland, number 97. Fraser stands at his own 33-yard line. It's a good snap, kicks from the 35. Bobbler, no good. Grabbed at the 45 by Keith Pierce, who is down there, pushed back to the about the 44, and that kick traveled only 19 yards from the line of scrimmage. Fraser, who started kicking 51 yards, has now had 2, certainly for him, 4 kicks. Toohey was in there to stop Pierce from going any farther. Winnipeg first and 10 at the 45-yard line. There you see the Hamilton defense. In the middle, Scott, Kaminsky, and Barrow. clock is working down to about 1 minute, just a fraction over 1 minute to go in this quarter. Plain bootlegs out to his right, throws. It's out there for Pitts. Hang on to it at the 48-yard line of the Ticats. Pitts, after a beautiful bootleg, couldn't hang on to it. Minute flag is ready to go up. It is up, I believe, but the man is kneeling down so that the people behind him will be able to see. There's the minute flag. It's 2nd 10 after an incomplete forward pass. Plain to Pitts. Plain is going back to throw again as the Bombers take to the air. No, Plain decides to run. 50, midfield, into Hamilton territory. He's still fighting and being fought, and boy, they're hitting in this football game. Bobble was wrestling him there along with Golston, and it's first down, and there was Kenny Plain at his explosive best. Now that was not the play that a lot of people are talking about, the quarterback draw. That was not. That was just Plain showing that he is a tremendous running quarterback. He was going back to pass that time, found his hole and rambled for the first down. Here's the pitch on this side to Dennis Mendick, and the menace gets to the 47, is pushed back. The ball was knocked out of his hands, but the whistle had gone, and it's a gain of about 4 yards, Winnipeg. Flag still up there. John Barrow, number 61, and linebacker number 99, Tony Cursillo, in to make the stop. This could be the last play of the first quarter. Hamilton leading 13-0. Kenny Plain calls his signals. Plain is going back to throw. It's good protection. It's out there, complete to Pitts at the 40-yard line. Pitts is being rushed to the far sidelines, is finally wrestled out over there by Bobble, who had a hold of Pitts but was having a lot of trouble getting rid of him. So it's very close to a first down. There could be a measurement here on the last play of the first quarter. This is your Grey Cup football telecast. Well, on the last play of the first quarter, the Bombers, in the middle of what's been their best offensive maneuvers so far, did get a first down by inches. They will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line as the second quarter gets underway. And to tell you just what happens from here, here is Steve Douglas.
All right, Ted. How do you do, everybody? Blue Bombers making their first excursion into Hamilton Ticat territory, trailing in the ball game by 13 points to nothing. 1st and 10 on the Hamilton 41-yard line. Kenny Plain, number 89, the Bomber quarterback. And off it's Jerry James, who drives up the center of the line, comes pretty close to the 35-yard line. The officials will mark it down about a yard from there. 2 yards on the 37, with Pete Newman, the great Hamilton Ticat defensive end, number 74, the principal tackler, along with Eddie Bevan. That, incidentally, is only the second time that Jerry James, one of the top ball carriers in the Western Conference, has carried the ball this afternoon. 2 flankers way out on the far side. Plain fakes to James, the hole opens up, and Jerry drives down for yardage across the 25-yard line until he is piled up down there with Ray Bobble, number 72, Cookie Gilchrist, number 85, and number 88, Ralph Golston, coming up from his halfback defensive spot to make the stop on him. 4th first down that the Blue Bombers have made on the ground this afternoon. The length of the football inside the 25-yard line, and Western supporters are getting a chance to yell for the first time. Mendick is a flanker far on the right side for the Bombers. Ball carrier stopped right at the line of scrimmage. He may have picked up roughly a yard in the play. Leo Lewis, number 99. Left side of the Hamilton defensive wall. Stood up to him. Saminsky, Underwood, and Scott in on the tackle. Lewis suffered torn rib cartilages near the latter part of the Western season, and he was shaken just a wee bit on that play. Plain pulling right back. Newman got a piece of him, couldn't hold him. He is finally hit down to the ground by Vince Scott and Harry Lampman, 53 and 73 respectively. And the position of the football is midway between the 20 and 25-yard lines, Hamilton end of the field. It's taken 15 yards in from the near western sidelines. 13-0 is the count. The Hamilton Ticats lead on 2 first-quarter touchdowns and 1 conversion, and we have 13 minutes to go to halftime. No question of a punt or a field goal here. Blaine is back to throw. He may be nailed. He's down on the ground. Back on the 32-yard line, and Eddie Bevan, number 51, the old fire horse, along with Vince Scott of Hamilton, made the stop on him. So the Hamilton Ticats have stopped the Winnipeg offensive thrust, their first excursion into black and gold territory this afternoon, taken over possession of the football on their own 31-yard line. Winnipeg defenses get set. Ron Howell in at flying wing is the flanker on the far side as Jerry McDougall tries to find running room on the right side of the line. The ball is loose, recovered by Winnipeg. Cease Looning, number 73, is the man who came up with the football after it had been jarred out of the hands of ball carrier Jerry McDougall as he rambled into the right side of the line for what appeared to be a 2 or 3 yard gain. So football fortunes change very quickly again, and the Blue Bombers have 1st and 10 on Hamilton's 32-yard line. And they've got flankers all over the place. Kenny Plains, their quarterback. The pitch out is to Dennis Mendick, running wide to the left, cutting back, and being upended by Eddie Macon, number 90. His advance is down to the 27-yard line. Pickup is 4. It is 2nd down and 6 to go. Eddie Macon plays left half defensively for the Ticats. He is number 90. He's not a big fellow, but he's very alert and agile and speedy defensive-wise. Mendick flanks to the right for the Blue Bombers. 2nd down, 6 to go from Hamilton's 27-yard line. Bootlegging by Plain beautifully. He gets the ball away. It is completed down to Frank Gilliam, his former receiving partner at the University of Iowa, and the Blue Bombers have a 1st down on the Ticats' 15-yard line, almost directly in front of the goalpost. The clouds that have been overshadowing Varsity Stadium in Toronto are breaking just a little bit. We're getting flashes of sunshine here. This crowd is really roaring now. Leo Lewis at the 10, and finally dumped on the 8-yard line by Harry Lampman, number 73 of the Ticats, along with Tony Casillo, their linebacker. Defensively, Harry Lampman plays left corner linebacker, and Tony Casillo is the left inside man. It is on the 8-yard line. 2nd down and maybe 4 yards to go. Lewis and Miller are flanked out to the left for Winnipeg. Jerry James tries the right side in tight. He picked up about a yard or maybe 2 before he was hit by Eddie Bevan and P.W. Underwood. Ball is on the 7-yard line. That leaves it 3rd down, roughly a yard and a half or 2 yards left to go. Series of plays started from the 15. Bombers' deepest penetration to date. Jerry James trying to get back, and he is upended and hit down on the 7-yard line. So the Hamilton Ticats once again will take over as Winnipeg, for the 2nd successive time in Hamilton territory, fails to pick up the necessary 10 yards. They may be requiring a measurement on this play. No, sir. There is referee Paul Dojak's decision and his signal. The Ticats have stopped Winnipeg again, this time on the 7-yard line. So it is their ball, 1st and 7 from that point. They lead 13-0 with unofficially 10 minutes left to halftime. Jerry James, who rushed for over 1,200 yards to be second in the Western Conference, has carried the ball only 3 times this afternoon. Maloney's fast handoff to his halfback sets him right up the middle, and the Winnipeg line gives very grudgingly. Cookie Gilchrist, number 85 of the Ticats, who lost his helmet on the play, made the advance to roughly the 11-yard line, a 4-yard pickup, 2nd down and 6 to go. Tommy Grant is a flanker on this side, and Billy Graham goes out on the far side. Cookie on that fast-breaking play up the middle. He's still on his feet. There's a marker on the play, and he fumbled again. Recovered by Hamilton, but there's a marker back at the line of scrimmage on a holding call. Billy Graham recovered the loose ball after Cookie Gilchrist had it jarred out of his hands the 2nd time this afternoon. He moved 30 yards, but it probably will go for naught. Holding against Hamilton. And the beautiful fast-breaking play up the middle by Cookie Gilchrist just goes out the window. Officials put the ball down on the 5-yard line. It is directly in front of the eastern upright on the goalpost, 5 yards out. Second down and roughly 12 yards to go. Flankers left and right, Grant and Graham. Maloney rolling towards the right side. He may run. He's across the 10 to the 12-yard line before he is finally piled up. Whitley, number 45, the number 1 man to hit him, along with Steve Patrick. Whitley is a linebacker for the Blue Bombers, and Patrick their middle guard defensively. Latterell and Rowland are the 2 deep men for Winnipeg in the vicinity of the midfield stripe as Cam Fraser stands about a yard inside his own end zone. He gets off a honey of a kick. And Latterell takes on the 50-yard line and is finally pushed out of bounds on the far side of the field by Chet Mixa. It'll be 1st and 10 for Winnipeg from that point. This game coming to you from Varsity Stadium. Cam Fraser's boot traveled 48 yards from the line of scrimmage. Latterell was pushed into touch on the Winnipeg 53-yard line. Blue Bombers ball 1st and 10 from that point. 8 minutes to halftime. 13-0 Hamilton. Playing back to throw. Throwing very long, intended for Mendick. He's got it and loses it. Ray Bobble picked it up. Mendick was losing his balance in his anxiety to reach that football and hold on to it. He got his hands on it, but just couldn't hang. Kenny Plain so far this afternoon is 2 for 6 in the air, 2 completions in 6 efforts. Mendick coming out of the ball game, right there, number 85, former great star at Michigan State University, came to the Blue Bombers from the New York Giants of the NFL. Latterell is in, and he's flanking at the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Draw play with James, and James is nailed, maybe for a loss of 1 yard. Center of the Hamilton Ticat forward wall, led by Vince Scott, along with Paul Decker, moved in to put the grab on Jerry James. The loss is roughly 1 yard. It is 3rd down and 11. And Fedosov and Howell move deep for Hamilton to receive the punt. Jerry Vincent is in to do the booting for Winnipeg. He kicks from his own 43. Lofts a wobbler to Fedosov at the 24-yard line. And he is nailed, and nailed hard as he crossed the 25. Cornell Piper, number 1 man to hit him.
minutes off to the 27-yard line.
Vincent's punt traveled 40 yards from the line of scrimmage. His average during the season was 39.8 on over 100 boots. Incidentally, the week of December 1st to December 7th is Safe Driving Week in Canada, so be sure you follow the rules of safe driving. The right way is the only safe way in traffic. Flankers right and left as Filoni pulls straight back, looks, throws out in the flat here, intended for Decker. He's got it, and there's a marker down on the field. Decker is bumped out of bounds by Norm Rowehouse at midfield, but an official marker is down on the play. Consultation is with. Penalty is being marked off against the Hamilton Ticats.
Hamilton, 15 yards.
An ineligible receiver on the play by the Hamilton Ticats with the flanker up on the line of scrimmage. And the ball is placed back on Hamilton's 12-yard line. First down and 25 yards to go. Flankers right and left. Filoni rolling out this way. Looks, throws down, intended for Decker again, completed. And he is bumped out of bounds on this side by Gordy Rowland of the Blue Bombers. He picked up the 15 yards on the penalty, plus about 4 more, leaving it at second down and roughly 6.5 to go. A 19-yard pass and run play from Filoni to Paul Decker. Grant splits out as a flanker on this side. Little Billy Graham on the far side. Filoni pulls straight back, looks, throws to Grant. He's got it for a first down. And he is down to earth from the 45-yard line, just inside it, with Gordy Rowland once again making the stop. Unofficially, 6.5 minutes to halftime in this Grey Cup Classic at Varsity Stadium, Toronto, as the skies are darkening very menacingly again. 13-0 for Hamilton, both TDs and the one convert in the first quarter. Filoni rolling, looking down this side, throwing long, intended for Grant. He's being guarded by Vincent, and it's incomplete. Ticats up to this time in the ball game have come up with 5 first downs, 2 through the air. Filoni so far has been throwing a little more often than usual during the regular Big Four season. He has completed only 2, but he has tossed 9. It is second down and 10 yards to go. The ball, the nose of the football, very close to Hamilton's 45-yard line, just an inch or so away. Flankers right and left again. Filoni pulls straight back. Looks, throws into the arms and right out of Ralph Toohey. Toohey being checked by Elton Taylor of the Blue Bombers. So Bernie is now 2 for 10. Rowland and Latterell will go deep for Winnipeg in anticipation of the punt that Cam Fraser will send through the air here. It is 3rd and 10. Deep men in the vicinity of the 15 and 20-yard lines. Fraser started off like a house of fire. Had one bad one off the side of his foot, traveled only 19 yards. High pass from center, and he got it away. It was very nearly blocked by Hall Whitley. Taken by Ron Latterell up to the 24-yard line. Gino DiNovo, number 55, and Billy Graham, number 83 of Hamilton, the 2 men who put the first stop on him. 48-yard boot from the line of scrimmage by Cam Fraser. Bombers ball, 1st and 10, just inside their own 25-yard line. 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Pitch is split at the right end position, about 10 yards. Kenny Plain pulling back, being chased by Scott. Throwing on the run, and it is intended for Pitts and broken up by Eddie Macon right at the sideline stripe at midfield. Plain firing on the dead run. His intended receiver, Ernie Pitts, one of the top men in the Western Conference this year insofar as grabs were concerned. Pitts, as a matter of fact, was second in the Western Conference. He caught 38 passes during the regular play. Second down and 10, Winnipeg inside their 25. Plain pulling back, throwing. Completed to Pitts. He laterals to Jerry James, and James is bumped out of bounds on the 40-yard line. The man who did the bumping was Eddie Macon. Winnipeg first down. 16-yard play overall. Plain passing to Pitts. Pitts lateraling to Jerry James. Our clock, which we remind you again is unofficial, shows 5 minutes to halftime, but no whistle has come up from the field yet. Plain pulls straight back. Pete Newman rushing him. Vinny Scott has got him, and he's down on the 35-yard line. Eddie Bevan, the fireman from Hamilton, came in to help out. Bevan and Scott are long-time standout defensive players with the Ticats. Bevan in his 8th year with the club, and Scott in his 9th. Plain pulls straight back once again. Throws on this side, complete to Mendick, and Mendick is hit almost immediately at the original line of scrimmage. Harry Lampman, number 73, former star in the Western Conference, put the tackle on him. It is third down and about 9.5 yards to go. Powell and Fedosif off the bench tentatively, and then they finally came out, took up spots on the 35-yard line. Jerry Vincent once again set to boot, your Hamilton deep man there. A marker on the play. Cookie Gilchrist roughs the kicker. Ron Howell smothered on the 36-yard line. Cookie Gilchrist charging in to try and block the kick. Hit the kicker, and the play is being called back. This is your Grey Cup football telecast.
Satisfy your car's every octane need. Get Super Shell or New Shell. Switch to Shell today.
Referee Paul Dojak of Regina gave the signal for roughing the kicker. It gives the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 1st and 10 on the Ticats' 54-yard line. Short pro-type pass over the line of scrimmage to Ernie Pitts, who cut in sharply from his right end position. It is not good for a first down, but it does take up roughly 8 yards in the play before Tony Casillo made the stop. Only 3 penalties in the ball game up to this point, all against the Ticats for a total of 35 yards. Second down and roughly 2 to go. Ball on the Ticats' 46, Winnipeg possession. Plain on the quarterback sneak trying for the yardage, and this may have to be measured. Casillo once again up from his right inside linebacking position, makes the stop along with Vince Scott. There still has been no time signal given from the field, but the clock here shows 3 minutes and 12 seconds left to go. You can't get much closer than that, and we gave you a perfect picture of it. It is a first down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on the Ticat 44-yard line. There is the 3-minute signal. The 9th first down to date picked up by the Bombers. 1st and 10 on Hamilton's 44. Ticats are in front by 13-0, just under 3 minutes remaining to halftime. Plain pitches out to Mendick. Mendick may throw. He does. Long. And about 4 bodies are up for it. And the closest man with Lewis, the intended receiver, that might have picked it off was Eddie Macon as the football bounced into the air, but he was 3 or 4 yards away from it. There were roughly 5 Hamilton Ticats defenders in the immediate vicinity of Leo Lewis on that particular play on the pitch out from Plain to Mendick. Mendick shooting straight out toward the far sidelines and stopping and pitching suddenly downfield intended for Lewis. Lewis and Miller are flankers on the far side. Pitts is split on this side from his right end position. Plain throwing for Pitts. And did he get it inside or not? Let's see. Yes, he completed the pass inside, and it will be a first down by roughly a yard for the Blue Bombers on the Hamilton 33-yard line. And Steve Honest-Chuck, the Hamilton captain, is having words with referee Paul Dojak, who now signals first down Winnipeg. The other officials today, the 3 umpires, John Monroe of Toronto, Bill Nairn of Winnipeg, Norm Maxwell, Hamilton, field judge Tom Daly, Ottawa, head linesman Taylor Patterson, Regina. Here go the Bombers. Plain pitches out to Jerry James, who cuts back sharply. Pete Newman grabbed him from behind, but not before James had reached the 25-yard line. And that leaves him roughly a yard and a half short of a first down. The football is almost directly in front of the goalposts. The Blue Bombers in the dark uniforms are moving from north to south on this field at Varsity Stadium in the second quarter. Plain faking and holding onto the ball himself, going for the yardage for a first down, and there could be a measurement coming up. The sticks are coming out for the measurement. Kenny Plain has carried the ball himself this afternoon 9 times so far. It is short of a first down, but just by very few inches. So this is a pretty good chance for you armchair quarterbacks to figure out what you'd do if you were in Kenny Plain's position. Third down and just inches to go, about a minute and a half to halftime. And his team trails 13-0. He goes himself and gets it. Plain on the quarterback keep play right up the middle. First down. Ball is on the 21-yard line, about 25 yards in from these western sidelines, and it is snowing at Varsity Stadium in Toronto. A wet, drizzly type of snow just coming down now for the first time. Plain back to pass. He throws very deep into the end zone. A marker on the field. It is intercepted and dropped in the end zone by one of the Ticat defenders in the person of Ray Bobble. And there's an interference penalty being called on the field. Cookie Gilchrist of the Ticats apparently is the culprit on the interference call.
Illegal interference against Hamilton. Illegal interference penalty with a potential pass receiver against Hamilton gives Winnipeg a first down.
It is first down for the Blue Bombers on the 13-yard line and directly in front of the goalposts. No minute flag up yet, but very close to it. Hamilton leads 13-0. First half just about over. Plain fakes a pro jump pass, is running back. He throws on the dead run deep in the end zone. And this time, Ray Bobble intercepts and holds onto the ball. And there's another marker down on that particular play. Ernie Pitts, for whom the pass was intended from Kenny Plain in the Hamilton end zone, was the man who stopped Ray Bobble finally. But the marker is bringing it back out to the 10-yard line. Roughing against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is the call. It moves the ball to the 25-yard line, where the Ticats, for the third time in this second quarter, have taken possession after Winnipeg has been deep in their territory, knocking on touchdown door. The minute flag is now up. Ticats 13-0, with less than a minute to go to the end of the first half. Ball carrier Jerry McDougall. Paul Whitley, right inside linebacker of the Bombers, 45, the number one man on the stop. Second down, roughly 3 yards to go. McDougall moved from the 25 to the 32. Maloney back to throw. He is nailed from behind. The man who got him is Cease Looning. Defensive end for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Bernie never had a chance to fire it. And Coach Jim Trimble gets that kicking team of his into action in a hurry. Roughly 30 seconds to the end of the first half. Roland and Latterell, the two deep men for the Bombers, at their own 45-yard line. Fraser is standing on his 13. Cam hits a low wobbler. Latterell takes it at the 53-yard line, and down he goes on the Ticat 52. A 30-yard boot by Cam Fraser. Little Billy Graham, 165 pounds, about 5 feet 8, is the man who brought him down to earth. And it is Bombers' ball, 1st and 10 from the Hamilton Ticats 52-yard line, as time runs out in the first half with the Ticats in front on 2 first-quarter touchdowns, 1 converted, so it's 13-0. The flag is down. This is the last play of the ball game, completed to Pitts, and he is nailed immediately as the gun sounds to end the first half of the Grey Cup game at Varsity Stadium, Toronto. The Hamilton Ticats 13, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers nothing. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast. Touchdown, and Bernie Filoni's quarterback keep for the second, and 1 conversion, the second thwarted by a bad pass, high pass from center, with the ball being fumbled, and as a result, let it pass through. Is that correct?
That's the official word which I've received, that it is too large to come into the stadium. They couldn't get it through the gates, which is somewhat reminiscent of the times you and I have tried to get into small telecast booths.
Thank you very much, Mr. Whitaker. I think for the benefit of our Western viewers, we should note the fact there is a small discrepancy in the size of these two men mentioned. Mr. Whitaker's about 280, and I'm only a little old, about 195.
Well, we're all set to get started now with the second half of this Grey Cup final. And here to tell you about the third quarter is Ted Reynolds.
Right, Bing, it's Winnipeg at the south end of the field, and the Ticats at the north end to our left. They're in the lighter-colored uniforms, Winnipeg in blue and gold. Jerry James and Leo Lewis are the deep men to receive the kickoff. Mixa does the kicking. The ball is picked up on the half volley at the 15-yard line. Back to the 30, 35, 40. Lewis tries to get away and is finally hauled down at the Hamilton Tiger Cat 53-yard line by Billy Graham. A desperation shoestring tackle, a tremendous run back by Leo Lewis. He brought that ball back 47 yards, and by the looks of things, Bud Grant's tongue has not been idle. Somebody yelled up to us that they had seen Grant, and he was firing his team up. Well, this could be the case. We'll see now. First offensive play of the second half, 13-0 Hamilton. The handoff across on that far side of number 93, Nick Miller, and Miller gets across the line of scrimmage. The ball is placed on the 51-yard line of the Ticats, where it's 2nd down and 8. Eddie Macon, number 90, who has made a lot of tackles for Winnipeg so far this afternoon, made that for Hamilton, rather, made that one. Straight double fullback formation. It's second down. The lights are on at Varsity Stadium. Plain going back to throw to Gilliam. Has he got it? Yes! A beautiful diving catch by Gilliam, who was dropped in his tracks by Goldston. And you may see, a first down, you may see Plain throwing a lot more to Gilliam. He did not have too much luck with Ernie Pitts in the first half. 9 for 15. Passing, that is. Straight double fullback formation. No split ends, no flankers. Lewis following good blocking on that far side. Across the 35, 34, 33-yard line before he is nailed over there by Dave Szyminski. They're looking at that one. It's going to be a gain of about 8. Second down, 2 yards to go. Substitution coming in for Hamilton is Decker, number 75, replacing number 66, Jack Davis. Second down, this is a big down for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. There's the pitch on this side. Jerry James, 30, 25, 20, and James is upended after rolling to the 20. Harry Lampton took the feet out from under him. He rolled forward. The ball is put at the 21-yard line. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are out there breathing fire right at the moment. Plain calls those signals. First down and 10. Lewis in motion. Again, the handoff is to Nick Miller. There is a marker on the play. Hamilton offside, methinks. Yes, Hamilton is offside. That is an old Western expression meaning I think so. A 5-yard penalty marked off against the Hamilton Ticats, who are the most penalized team. It's first down, 5 yards to go, and the Bombers are threatening seriously here early in the third quarter. Pitch on this side, Jerry James. James is down. He tries to crawl an extra yard. He was hit by Tony Cursillo. Diving tackle that took the feet out from James when he had a bit of a hole to run to. James goes for a gain of 3. It's second down, 2 yards to go. 13-0. The Hamilton Tiger Cats leading. Third quarter just underway. Double fullback formation. Kenny Plain calls those signals. Again, Lewis is in motion. Hand off to Miller. Miller moves to the 10, is thrown back. We'll have to wait and see the forward progress of the ball. Vince Scott, who was a bulwark for Hamilton in the first half, was the first man in on that stop. The Husky veteran middle guard. The sticks are coming in. The snow that started late in the second quarter has abated. There's a bit of a wisp, but the skies seem to be lightening again. Mind you, the lights are on here, and of course the colorful picture is even enhanced by that at Varsity Stadium. Oh, not very much there. It's short by about the length of the football, 8 inches. Here's a big one. Hamilton digging in. Third down, 8 inches to go for a first down. They're 12 yards away from pay dirt. They trail 13-0. Lewis flanks to the left. James and Miller right behind the quarterback. Plain up over that ball. Hamilton defensive line is packed. Pitch on this side. James across the 10, and he tumbles. Hamilton recovery. The Hamilton Tiger Cats take over the ball. First and 10 at their own 5-yard line. Bobble, who so far has been the real hero of this piece for Hamilton. There he is, number 72, Ray Bobble. He's the man you'll recall early in the game who recovered the fumble in the air and romped 47 yards for the initial score of the game, and he made a brilliant recovery there, probably saving 6 points at least for his club. James was going for certain, had a first down. It's on the 4-yard line. It's Hamilton Tiger Cats, first and 10. Elton Taylor, the left corner linebacker, is roaming around. He's number 94. Maloney's handoff is to Cookie Gilchrist, and Gilchrist dives across the Winnipeg right tackle before being stopped by Roger Savoy. A gain of 4. It's second down and 6 yards to go. Johnny Michaels, the left inside linebacker. He dropped back from defensive end to linebacker, of course, with Mangum out of there, was also in on the stop. 2nd and 6. Gilchrist gets across the 10-yard line, and it will be 3rd down, a kicking situation, still 4 yards to go, and the Hamilton kicking team moves in for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They drop their deep men back to their own 50. Roger Savoy made the stop again that time. Ticats break their huddle. Cam Fraser stands 2 yards into his own end zone. Receivers are Ron Latterell and Gordy Rowland at their own 50-yard line. Fraser puts the foot to it. It comes down on this side to midfield. Latterell is hit immediately and brought down for little or no return. Billy Graham made the tackle. It's Hamilton's kick, Winnipeg's ball. This game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium. "44-yard kick that time. Well, Winnipeg made Hamilton kick. Now they have it 1st and 10 at midfield. The ball is being scrimmaged from the 53. Pitch to Jerry James. James across the 50 into the 47-yard line, 48-yard line of the Ticats. 2nd down and 5 to go. Harry Lampman, number 73, along with Eddie Macon, number 90, made the stop. Tremendously colorful sight here at Varsity Stadium. Football celebrities and celebrities of all other sorts from all over Canada, of course, are here. There's the handoff to Lewis, who was upended without a bit of a gain by Tony Cursillo. He lost a yard on the play. Cursillo knifed in there beautifully. And remember, immediately following the game and the wrap-up from up here, downstairs, Larry O'Brien will have the coaches of both these clubs, along with the star players from both sides in this 57 Grey Cup game. The Winnipeg kicker is standing just outside his own 45-yard line. Vincent moves to the 50, gets a kick to the far side, a wobbler, it's fumbled! Let's see, oh, they're all over the place. A penalty for no yard, much to the disgust there of Stav Kanakis. Howell was the man who never did have the ball. He laid his fingers on it but fumbled it. No yards penalty against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That is the first we have had of that description this afternoon. So the ball is moved out to the 39. It's a 15-yard penalty. So the Ticats take over 1st and 10. The ball is actually right between their own 39 and 40-yard lines. We'll call it the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 there. Poloni sends flankers right and left. Poloni dropping back to throw. The rush is on him. He's spared back at the 30-yard line. There is a Winnipeg Blue Bombers shaken up on the play, and that's the first time at all this afternoon. And it's amazing because it's been such a tremendously hard-knocking game that play has had to be held up because anybody was shaken up. This player's got the wind knocked out of him, and the trainer hops out there in the field, Jimmy Osley. It is Walt Balicki, number 47. Homegrown inside linebacker. Played with the Winnipeg Rods. 195-pound, 5'10" homegrown Winnipeg player. He's up on his feet. He was just winded. He is being replaced. There he comes off the field now. Balicki had made the stop. 2nd down and 19 yards to go. A loss of almost 10 yards that time. As for the first time with any real authority, Winnipeg got to Bernie Filoni. Filoni's handoff is to Grant. Grant gets good blocking. Grant still going, dives, puts his head down, rolls to the 42-yard line. 1st down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, I think. Correction, we're looking at the wrong end of the spike. He got back the 10 yards that they had lost and 2 more, but it's 3rd down and 9 to go. First down would have taken them to the 50, so it's a kicking situation. Hal Whitley finally made the stop that time. Latterell and Rowland drop back. There they are at their own 20-yard line. Fraser from just outside the 25 gets it away. This is a pretty good boot. Coming down to Latterell. Latterell gets across the 20 to the 23. Hit by Billy Graham, number 83. 50-yard kick by Fraser. Marker on the play back at the discussion is back at the 45. Bringing it back. Illegal interference are called for the second time against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Against Winnipeg, rather. So it gives Hamilton a first down at their own 45-yard line. Hamilton retaining possession of the ball, have it 1st and 10. Eight minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Still 13-0 as Cookie Gilchrist spins but can't get away from Al Whitley, number 45, who drops him at the 46. Whitley, a very starry inside linebacker for Winnipeg, particularly so in the great series against Edmonton. Don't forget, Larry O'Brien will bring you the stars of this game, along with coaches Trimble and Grant. At the conclusion of the contest, flankers right and left. Poloni uses his swingman. He can't get it. Oh, a little bit of roughing goes on down there. Ball was grabbed by number 62, Roger Savoy, and Gilchrist, or rather McDougall, being a little bit miffed at not being able to hang on to that football. So it's 3rd down, 7 yards to go for Hamilton at their own 47-yard line. Cam Fraser drops back to kick from his own 34. Deep men are Gordy Rowland on Ron Latterell, standing outside their own 15-yard line. Fraser puts one up pretty high. It's going to Rowland on the far side. He's back to the 25 and gets no farther. 1, 2, 3, 4 Hamilton players descend on Mr. Rowland. 43-yard kick for Cam Fraser. Ralph Toohey, number 77, was the first man down. Winnipeg, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Hamilton defensive team going into the field. Kenny Plain leads the Bomber attackers out there. Well, they got down inside the 10 early on their first drive in this third quarter. They came into it trailing 13-0. A fumble cost them the ball. Now they have a long way to go against a tremendously strong defensive team. Pitch to Jerry James. James gets underneath one tackler and dives forward to the 29-yard line. He was finally stopped by Jim Hughes and Ralph Goldston. Jerry gets to his feet. It was Hughes, who number 45, walking by them. There's the Hamilton defense. And it's been a tremendous force in this game so far. 2nd down, 5 yards to go. Kenny Plain calls those signals, fakes the pitch, hands to James, and he dives, whirls like a whirling dervish, rolled across the 35. It was not James, it was Lewis darting out of the left half spot. He rolled over about 4 times. His forward progress was ruled to have been to the 34.5-yard line. It's 3rd down and less than a foot to go. That was the Lincoln locomotive really rolling. Straight double fullback formation. Kenny Plain on the sneak. He's got what looks like plenty enough for the first down as he gets about 3 yards. Yes, first down, says referee Paul Dojak for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 6.5 minutes. A little less than 6.5 remaining. Michaels led the way there for Kenny Plain. Fullback, double fullback formation once more. No flankers. Now he pits out 1 yard. Lewis again. Lewis cuts in and gets back to the line of scrimmage no more. He might have got 1 yard on the play. Substitutions are becoming a little more frequent than they were in the first half of the game. Vince Scott once more along with Tony Cursillo. Piper has gone in place of Michaels at the inside linebacker spot. Kenny Plain calling those signals. 2nd and 8 yards to go. Plain is going back to throw. The rush is on him. He finally gets that ball away. No good. Almost complete. It was meant for Mendick out there at the 54-yard line of the Ticats. But Eddie Macon, number 90, was covering him very efficiently. 3rd down, 8 yards to go for the Blue Bombers, who trail 13-0. And they are sending Jerry Vincent in to do the kicking once more. Charlie Shepard started the game kicking, but has not been back in there since early in the second quarter. Howell and Fedosov are standing at their own 35. Vincent had to get that one away very quickly. It bounced. Did it roll out? No, it didn't. It's still in play. And Fedosov is pulled down and pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line where it's Hamilton 1st and 10. This is your Grey Cup football telecast. That was Ronnie Howell who actually got the ball finally. It came to Fedosov, who perhaps, and rightly so, might have thought it was going out of bounds, and it cut back in to Howell. Now it's Hamilton 1st and 10. Filoni calling those signals. Gives it to McDougald. McDougald got up for about 3, and then Hal Whittley leading the charge. The Bombers pushed him back. Forward progress. It's about 4 yards. It's 2nd and 6. Michaels and Whittley, a lot of them were in on that one. Michaely's big number 50. McDougald got the ball then for the first time in this half, and he led the ground gainers in the Big Four in the 1957 season. Flankers left and right. Filoni going back to pass. Good protection. Throws it. It's short by about 2 yards. Then for Grant down at the 40-yard line. Marker on the play. Filoni is now only 3 for 12 in completions. Hamilton leading by a score of 13-0 with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. So we're having an official consultation out there between referee Paul Dojak, and everybody's in on this one. Clipping penalty is called against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, declined by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The signal from the referee. So the down is number 3. It's 3rd down and 6 yards to go, and Cam Fraser stands at his own 21. Deep men are Latterell and Rowland back at their own 30. Fraser gets that kick away, and he lifted that one. Oh, murder did he kick that ball. Rowland right back to the 10 before he gets it. Rowland gets across the 20 down to about the 23-yard line. Cam Fraser kicked that ball 63 yards. Jim Hughes, number 45. All 6'4" and 220 pounds of them came down to stop Rowland.
Ted, let me break in for just a moment here to remind our fans again that after the game, Larry O'Brien's post-game show will feature Don Downey, the president of the CRU, presenting the Grey Cup to the winning team, plus many other stars and coaches.
Winnipeg, 1st and 10, their own 22-yard line. They trail 13-0 late in the third quarter. He fakes the pitch out. Handoff is to Mendick, and Mendick trying to move across the left side of that Hamilton line. Stopped by Tony Cursillo. Gain of 2. It's 2nd and 8. P.W. Underwood, number 60, was also there. It's one of the few times in this game Mendick has gone inside. Bombers have not been able to move this Hamilton defense with any kind of regularity whatsoever. Plain dropping back to throw, now rolling to the right. Pat being chased, gets across the 25, 30. He's finally upended. Decker was in hot pursuit. Macon came up to get him. Kenny Plain is down. I do not know whether he's just been shaken up or whether he has been injured. We can't see him yet. Looks like he's injured a leg, whether it's his right or his left, I don't know. 3 minutes remaining in this quarter. We'll have to wait and see. Trainer is out there. Plain rolled over onto his left side. It's very difficult to tell just the extent of the injury, of course. But it could be his left knee. That is just a guess on our part. We'll have to wait and see. They have him on his back now. And that, of course, would be quite a blow to Bud Grant's Bombers.
There's a pretty good point that comes up here, Ted, in connection with the fact that many fans wonder why stretchers are not sent out onto the field immediately when a player is injured. The well-known men in black and white uniforms of the St. John Ambulance Corps always stand by at the big football games, of course, but they may not go on the field until the referee so signals. And in this case, as you can see, Kenny Plain is coming off, unfortunately, not under his own steam, but with the assistance of Dennis Mendick and the Winnipeg trainer.
Okay, Steve. Well, if he is forced to retire from the game, a young Canadian named Barry Roseborough, Winnipeg native, would move in. It's third down and 2 yards to go for the Bombers at their own 31. Great hand here for this gallant kid. Kenny Plain's left knee, and he is coming off very, very slowly. Jerry Vincent on third down drops back inside his own 20-yard line to do the kicking. Hamilton leading 13-0. Vincent puts it in the air. He gets away a pretty good kick, heading for those far sidelines. Fedosov grabs it, turns. He started to go the wrong way for a minute. Finally thought, I better wheel around and get going forward, and he did. The ball is down at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 there, Hamilton. This game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium. Kenny Plain, after coming from the field, went immediately to the dressing room. There was no question of even trying to work on him on the bench. Young Barry Roseborough incidentally wears number 88 and will no doubt be in offensively next time they get the ball. Has been warming up. Now it's Hamilton 1st and 10. Poloni gives it to Grant. Grant finds a little running room, gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line before he was hit very hard by John Michaels, number 50, whose defensive play has been pretty well faultless for Winnipeg. He has played a sound game so far for them defensively. But you can't win football games, even though a couple of teams in the West tried awfully hard last week, without scoring some points. And this Bomber team has not been able to dent the Hamilton armor yet. Poloni's handoff to Cookie Gilchrist. Gilchrist drives forward. Cookie didn't go down after all the tacklers and the blockers did. He found himself in clear ground. He was stopped by Gordy Rowland and Hal Whitley, but the whistle, of course, had gone. So it's third down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, just inside their own 45. Third and 3 yards to go after a gain of 3 at their own 44. A minute and 30 seconds unofficially remaining in the third quarter. 13-0 for the Ticats. Cam Fraser stands at his own 31. Latterell and Rowland are the deep men. The kick is very, very high up above the lights. Rowland lets it bounce. Latterell lets Rowland pick it up. And Rowland was hit immediately inside his own 5-yard line by Billy Graham, who came down there like a real avenging warrior. A 61-yard kick. His last one was 63, so he tailed off a bit, but he kicked that ball up above the lights. I don't know how high those light standards are, but they look about 110 feet to me. Apparently the worst thing that could happen for a team playing Hamilton is to have Fraser make one bad kick, because he'll come down and kick the thing right out of sight the next time. Barry Roseborough, number 88, a Canadian quarterback, is calling the signals for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Direct handoff, and moving forward across the 5 to about the 6-yard line. Jerry James gets about 4 at 2nd and 6. Pete Newman, number 74, made the tackle. Minute flag will be going up any second. Minute flag has gone up any second. There it is. 2nd and 6. Barry Roseborough at quarterback. Roseborough gives to Mendick after a nice fake. Mendick gets across the 10-yard line and is snowed under down there. Notice that Winnipeg, with numbers on their helmets, it helps considerably in picking them out. Ralph Goltz, number 88, made the stop. Tony Cursillo. 3rd down, 2 yards to go. Deep in their own territory, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers send in Jerry Vincent to do the kicking. There are the Hamilton defenders getting ready as the Bombers huddle inside their own 5-yard line. The flag is flying. The Hamilton deep men are inside the Winnipeg 45 as Vincent puts one very high in the air. Lots of Bombers down on it. Grabbed by Howell, and Howell is snowed under immediately after getting back about 3 yards. A 26-yard kick was far higher than was long. And the ball is at the 32-yard line, where the Ticats have it 1st and 10. With the flag about to go down to end the 3rd quarter, 13-0 for Hamilton. Bernie Filoni is at the helm. Flankers, 2 of them wide out to the left. Filoni's handoff is to Cookie Gilchrist, and Gilchrist, as the gun ends the 3rd quarter, moves forward for a gain of about 3. Hamilton will have possession of the ball when the last quarter gets underway. This is your coast-to-coast break-up football telecast. Hamilton threatening as the final quarter of a hard-knocking game gets underway. To tell you how far this threat goes, Steve Douglas.
All right, Ted, the ball is on the Winnipeg 27-yard line, about 20 yards in from the far eastern sidelines here at Varsity Stadium, Toronto. The Ticats are in front 13-0, 15 minutes remaining to play. It is 2nd down and roughly 6 yards to go. Bernie Filoni at quarterback for the Ticats sends a couple of flankers out toward these sidelines. Grant and Graham. Fast handoff to McDougall. Fast breakthrough. He may go all the way. He's into the end zone. Keith Pierce had hold of McDougall, but just couldn't contain him, as Jerry, who was the Big Four's leading ground gainer during the regular 57 season, wasn't to be denied on that one. He's carried 8 times this afternoon and picked up 62 yards. Honest Chuck will try the conversion. Ray Truant will hold. High pass from center, the 2nd time this has happened. Well, let's have a little game of kick the football around the gridiron here. It is all wiped out, of course. And the 2nd consecutive time that the Ticats have had a conversion attempt go by the boards because of a high pass from center. So the count is 19-0, Hamilton over Winnipeg. 14 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. And the Blue Bombers quarterback, Kenny Plain, has come back from the dressing room to take his place on the Bombers bench directly beneath us. Plain is moving around, trying to unlimber that left knee that undoubtedly has been well doctored, as Cookie Gilchrist gets set to kick off for the Hamilton Ticats. Single man back is Leo Lewis, but the kick bounces over to the far sidelines. Taken there by Keith Pierce, and he is snowed under on the 33-yard line. And Billy Graham a little guy who goes about 165 pounds, soaking wet, was bumping around with Big Hall Whitley of the Blue Bombers at midfield, and Whitley's just 225, that's all. Kick traveled only 32 yards, and the Bombers have it 1st and 10 on their own 33-yard line. It's 20 yards in from the far side stripe. Barry Roseborough is quarterbacking, and the ball is loose and recovered by the Hamilton Ticats. Jerry James, the second time he has lost control of the ball. Not quite as strategic a spot as the first occasion when he lost it right in the shadow of the Hamilton goal line when the Bombers were definitely on the move. But the Ticats came up with the loose football, and they've taken over again. Johnny Barrow, first-year import from the University of Florida, is the man who put the grab on the loose football. The Bombers have now fumbled 4 times and lost it on every occasion. Hamilton ball, 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Cookie Gilchrist coming this way, met far behind the line of scrimmage, knocks off the first tackler, and moves on up until he is finally brought down to earth on the 27-yard line. Steve Patrick and Gordy Rowland. Patrick hit him first, couldn't hang on. Rowland finally made the stop on him. Graham flanks to the far sidelines for the Ticats. Maloney bootlegs, he's got it, gets the pass into the air, and it is no good. Intended for Harry Lampman. He was checked very closely by Winnipeg's Jerry Vincent.
Maloney's pass intended for Lampman goes incomplete.
Maloney, 3 passes completed out of 13 attempts today. But remember, insofar as the Ticats' total of 13 or 19 points is concerned, he has directed the attack on each of the touchdowns and scored the second one himself. A field goal attempt is coming up. Steve Onischuk will boot from the 35-yard line. Down in the air. No good, to the right of the right upright, and brought out at least 3 or 4 yards by Ronnie Latterell of Winnipeg. And the Bombers take over 1st and 10 from their own 4-yard line. That is the first field goal attempt of the afternoon. Small amount of wind is springing up, nothing to bother the play to any great degree, but it was from the northwest and pretty much into Onischuk's attempt. Kenny Plain has gone back in to direct the Bombers' attack. They are trailing by 19-0, 13 minutes and 5 seconds unofficially left to go. Hamilton got 2 touchdowns in the first quarter and then picked up the other one just a short time ago. Officials have moved the ball away from in front of the goalposts. Bombers put it in play, 1st and 10 from their own quarterback. Hands off to Leo Lewis, who tries the left side of the line and reaches the 9 before his forward progress is stopped there. Pick up on the play is 5 yards, 2nd down and 5 to go. Vinny Scott once again is the number 1 man on the stop for the Hamilton Ticats, but that isn't unusual. He's been in there most of the afternoon. Plain pitches out to Lewis, who may be trapped back of the line and gets away from Pete Newman, spins into the arms of 3 or 4 more tacklers from the Ticats. Newman came back to help out, had assistance from Eddie Macon, number 90, and Ralph Goldston, number 88. So a kicking situation comes up with Howell and Fedosov going out for the Ticats to take up position somewhere near midfield. And Jerry Vincent will do the kicking. 82 is Howell, at the top of your screen, Fedosov. Vincent stands at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers goal line. Low pass. Gets away a pretty nice hoist. Fedosov at the 53, slipped a bit. turned around and is nailed and goes down, and Ticats put it in play. 1st and 10 from Winnipeg's 54-yard line. This game coming to you from Varsity Stadium. A 42-yard kick by Jerry Vincent. Ticats ball 1st and 10 on the Winnipeg 53-yard line. You motorists, remember that next week is Safe Driving Week, so do drive carefully and make safe driving a year-round habit. Graham is a wide flanker on this side. Tommy Grant is out as well. Ticats ball 1st and 10. Gilchrist breaking through, and he's very close to a first down. He's got roughly 9 yards, but there's a marker on the play. It is interference. Illegal interference against the Hamilton Ticats moves the ball back to their own 47-yard line. Paul Dojak from Regina is the referee. The umpires today, John Monroe of Toronto, Bill Nairn of Winnipeg, Norm Maxwell of Hamilton, field judge Tommy Daly of Ottawa, and the headlinesman Taylor Patterson from Regina, and all 6 gentlemen have done an outstanding job today. Jerry McDougall tries the right side, cuts back as he hits the end, and comes up very close to midfield. He may be a yard over it, and that's close to a first down. He is stopped by Keith Pierce. That is not close to a first down. It is close to the other end of the yardsticks once again. The original loss is just about made up, lacking 1 yard, so it is 2nd down and 11. A little under 11 minutes left to go. 19-0, Hamilton. 57 Grey Cup from Varsity Stadium, Toronto. Filoni throwing in the flat to McDougall, who cuts back, and he doesn't get up to yardage sufficient for a first down. He's hit down on the Winnipeg 50-yard line with Paul Whitley, number 1 man on the tackle. So it is 3rd down and roughly 7 to go. Cam Fraser and his kicking contingent going on the field for Hamilton. Latterell and Rowland are deep for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Latterell number 87 and Rowland number 97. That is Rowland, and that's Fraser. Booting a wobbler that Latterell takes at the 17-yard line. That looked like a tug of war in reverse. It was little Billy Graham again. That little guy is down mighty fast, number 83 there, just running out of our picture. 33 yards, that one. Fraser has hoofed a couple today, over 60, 61 and 63. He had one bad one of 19 yards. That must have made him mad. Bombers ball, 1st and 10 from their 22-yard line. Playing as a quarterback. Hayes back to throw. He does, down the middle and complete to Pitts. Pitts laterals to Jerry James, who couldn't hang on to the ball. Wait a minute now. It was recovered for the Ticats by Paul Decker, and will go as a fumble by Jerry James and a Hamilton recovery, making it 5 for 5 on the wrong side of the ledger for Winnipeg. Paul Decker, who has been playing more defensive end today than he has been used to during the regular season, got that one. Filoni bootlegs, looks, throws deep, complete to Gilchrist at the 20-yard line. He's nailed immediately by Rowland. It is a first down for the Ticats, who are on the move deep in Winnipeg territory again. Hamilton leads by 19-0. 9 minutes, 48 seconds unofficially left to go. Graham flanks to the right. Grant on this side. Handoff is to McDougall. He's still on his feet and still going. Well, that's almost impossible to believe because at least half a dozen Blue Bombers had a piece of him. But he's down there very close to a first down, and the man who finally had to get him was Gordy Rowland, the right corner linebacker who dropped back for the move. First down for the Ticats, and the ball is inside the 10-yard line, so it is first down and goal to go. Two flankers out to the right. Gilchrist, the ball carrier. He keeps driving down to the 4-yard line. First man to hit him for the Blue Bombers was number 73, Cease Luning, and Hall Whitley completed the stop. His gain is roughly 5. The ball just inside the 5-yard line. Second and goal to go, less than 5 yards away. The fumbles this afternoon have been very disastrous to the Blue Bombers up to this point. Cookie Gilchrist, a beautiful piece of fakery by quarterback Bernie Filone, and Cookie didn't crumble. He went right on through. At the 33 yards, the Ticats moved for the touchdown, their fourth of the afternoon. And on each occasion, after recovering a fumble, the Ticats have moved down for a TD. Here is Honest Chuck's attempt at the conversion. Truant will hold it. It is blocked. Paul Whitley, number 45 of the Blue Bombers, made the block. So the score is the Hamilton Ticats 25, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers nothing. And this is your Grey Cup football telecast. Spotter Hal Walker has the glasses trained on the injured member of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Out on the field appears to be Herb Gray, their fine guard from the University of Texas in his second year with the club. Left guard offensively and left end defensively. The score here in this Grey Cup game is 25-0 for the Hamilton Ticats, which at this moment at least makes Hamilton coach Jim Trimble look pretty good. He said about 3 or 4 days ago he thought the winning club would score 4 touchdowns. The losing club might score 2. Needless to say, it is to be presumed Mr. Trimble figured his own ball club would win. It was Herb Gray, and he is coming off the field under his own steam. There he is. He, incidentally, was a teammate at the University of Texas of the outstanding Toronto Argonaut end, Big Menon Schriever. Lewis and James are the Bombers' deep man. Not too deep at their own 21-yard line as the wind is springing up. Cookie kicks a flat ball down to Lewis at the 23. Toohey was in for a diving tackle that knocked him off stride, and Grant comes in to make the stop on him. Ralph Toohey, as usual, talking things up. 8 minutes and 21 seconds remaining. 25-0, the Ticats over the yard line. The last time these clubs met in Grey Cup competition was back in 1953, and the Ticats won that one, a real thriller, by 12-6, when Lou Cussero switched off his defensive assignment in the end zone and rammed into Tom Casey just as Casey took a pass from Indian Jack Jacobs. Cookie having a little trouble adjusting himself. The deep men for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have now moved up to the vicinity of the 25 and 30-yard lines. James and Lewis are the two who are way back. Cookie's kick is high, goes Keith Pierce in the 43. He drops it. Picked up by Lewis. He's at the 40, and down he goes. Eddie Bevan, number 1 man in there for the Hamilton Ticats. And the Bombers are having their troubles, hanging on to the football. 5 fumbles and 5 lost. That one dropped but recovered. First and 10 for Winnipeg on their own 40-yard line. 15 yards in from the far sidelines. Plain is quarterbacking again. Pulls straight back to throw. Short pass right over the center, and man, was he ever upended. Completion to Frank Gilliam. He was hit around the ankles and around the knees at the same time. Went flying through the air, but he did get his first down at the 51. Jimmy Hughes from Queens, rookie with the Ticats, is the man who stopped him. Don't forget to be with us after the game for Larry O'Brien's special interviews of players, coaches, and officials. Plain pulls straight back, throws out intended for Pitts. He gets the ball, and he is grabbed at the same moment. Ray Bobble and Ralph Golston right in there, Johnny on the spot for Hamilton. This time it is not sufficient for a first down, but the pickup on the play is 8 yards. It is second and just about 2 to go. Tony Casillo calling defensive signals, and he is a defensive quarterback actually and does a fine job for Hamilton. He's number 99. Pitch out is to Jerry James, going around left end. He comes down and slips to earth at the 48-yard line. Man holding him down is that same Casillo. This is a first down for the Bombers, however, to the Ticats, call it the 47-yard line. Keith Pierce is going in for Winnipeg, and coming out, Frank Gilliam at left end defensively. 6.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. Ticats 25, Blue Bombers 0. Mendick is the flanker way out on this side. Plain goes back. He is definitely favoring his left knee. Long pass intended for Mendick over his head, making the man guarding for Hamilton. Plain, as he moves back from the quarterback spot directly behind the center, definitely is limping. His left knee was racked up about 10 minutes ago. He went to the dressing room, but has come back and is still in at quarterback. Roseborough played just a couple of sequences. 11 for 20 is the Winnipeg pass pattern at the moment. Second down and 10 yards to go on the Ticat 47, Winnipeg possession. Plain pulls back, Newman chasing him. He throws down the middle, intended for Pitts, incomplete. And Keith Pierce was cutting in deeper, too, but he couldn't reach the football either. Newman, who was in trying to get quarterback Plain on that play, shook himself up, and he's down on the field. Right at midfield, the right defensive end for the Hamilton Ticats, an all-star every year here in the East at that position. Incidentally, many of you will want to see more of some of these ball players in action, and you can do so at the annual East-West All-Star Shrine Game in Montreal a week from today. Pete Newman up and shaking his head as he starts to walk off the field, assisted by two members of the Ticat training staff. Jerry Vincent standing at the Winnipeg Blue Bomber 50-yard line. Howell and Fedosov at the 5 for Hamilton. This is a fake. He throws a pass intended for Pitts. Intercepted by Ray Bobble, who may go all the way again. He's going to be cut off near the sideline. He was tripped by a man standing in front of the Winnipeg bench, and Bobble has come back to the Winnipeg bench, and he is boiling, and no wonder. All right, we'll see what the call is going to be on this one now. Everybody hang on to your hats. It will all be straightened out. Jim Trimble, the Hamilton Ticat coach, rushed up. Actually, Bobble probably would not have gone the distance because Big Bob Hobart, the right tackle, was cutting him off at a very sharp angle. And we certainly will keep our eyes on the officials on the field here for the call on this one. Bobble, an unauthorized person interfering with a player while play is in progress is the rule. There are scattered boos from the crowd of roughly 28,000 here at Varsity Stadium, probably from Western supporters, but somebody who probably shall go mercifully unidentified did stick a foot out right down at the sidelines directly in front of the Winnipeg bench, and that's what bobbled up the play. Jerry McDougall, the ball carrier, cutting back and dragged down from behind by Roger Savoy. Paul Whitley coming along to help out Savoy on the tackle. Savoy 62, Whitley 45. Ticats ball, second down and 5 yards to go on the 16-yard line. Graham flanks to the right. Poloni hands off to Gilchrist coming this way. He's still on his feet and he may go into the end zone. He does. "22 yards in 2 plays. Cookie Gilchrist, second TD of the afternoon. And the boy who has oft-times been called the problem child at the Big Four is doing a pretty good job here today. He was the second man in the ground gaining department behind teammate Jerry McDougall. And it is good. Hamilton leads Winnipeg. This game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium. Cookie Gilchrist, who got his second touchdown on that effort, has covered 68 yards in 15 carries this afternoon. He and doing a pretty fair job. There is the 5-minute signal from the field. 5 minutes to the end of regulation time. You must say that the Ticats have been capitalizing on their opportunities. On 4 occasions after fumbles, they moved for touchdowns, and on Bobbles' interception, his second of the day, he moved down and set up the stage for the 5th Hamilton TD. Here's the kickoff. Chet Mixa hoofs it down to Lewis at the 15, 20, 25, coming this way at the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, down on the 53-yard line finally. Jack Davis knocked him off his feet, and Billy Graham completed the stop. Latterell, replacing Leo Lewis, is a product of that fine junior team, the Rods out in Winnipeg. Fingers latched onto it and wouldn't give it up. The Bombers are knocking again to see if they can get that 0 off the scoreboard. Little under 4 minutes left. 1st and 10, Winnipeg on the Hamilton 15-yard line. Latterell flanks left. Roseboro back to throw. He is nailed, gets the ball away, complete to Mendick. He's gone. The Bombers moved 56 yards in just 3 plays, with Dennis Mendick doing a beautiful cutback to the left, and only one man had a chance, but he couldn't get close. Kenny Plain is coming back in for Winnipeg to attempt the conversion. It is 32-6 now. The few fans who had started moving for the exits have stopped just to see what goes on. There's a lot of football left in these two teams. Plain's attempt is good. And on our scoreboard, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have a total of 7, but the Hamilton Ticats a big 32. About 3 minutes and 50 seconds to the end of regulation time. Young Barry Roseboro, who is in at quarterback for the Blue Bombers, got off a fine pass that time. He had about 3 Hamilton players draped all over him. A youngster who is the son of the well-known Western football official, Cliff Roseboro, He did his college football at the University of North Dakota. McDougall, Ray Bobo, and Eddie Macon are the Hamilton trio as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers try the short kick. That is recovered by a Hamilton man and perhaps in the field before he went out of bounds. It looks like Harry Lampman. It is. And the Ticats will put the ball in play, 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. That is the second time this afternoon the short, tricky kickoff has been tried. Not with any particular measure of success, it must be noted. Maloney still quarterbacking for Hamilton, has flankers right and left. Ball lost by Jerry McDougall. The whistle had blown. John Michaels running for the Hamilton end zone. And the whistle had blown, so the big lineman doesn't get his chance for glory in picking up a loose ball and rumbling down the field for a TD. Winnipeg on the recovery takes 1st and 10 from the Hamilton 41.5-yard line. 15 yards in from the far side. Hamilton has fumbled 3 times now and lost the ball on 2 occasions. Roseboro quarterbacking for the Bombers. Hand off to Nick Miller, who drives his way down deep into the Hamilton secondary to the 33-yard line. It will be very close to a first down. Tommy Grant made the stop. 3-minute signal from referee Paul Dojak. 32-7 for Hamilton over Winnipeg. After the game, Larry O'Brien with special guests from both teams and the official presentation of the Grey Cup. Stay with us. Roseboro pulls back to pass down the middle and intended for Gilliam. He was just spun around the wrong way. Closest Ticat to him was Tony Castillo. Paul Whitley replacing John Michaels in the forward wall of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Loose ball once again. Recovered by Vince Scott, who decides as a lineman he better have a try at it, but then thinks better of it. Ernie Pitts goes up and wraps his arms around him. Jerry James on the attack couldn't hang on to the football, and the Ticats have taken possession on their own 34-yard line. Believe me, there will be no untoward incidents when the final gun is fired here. I know it's exaggerating to say it, but it looks as though there might be about 1 million policemen ringing the field here at Varsity Stadium, members of Toronto's finest men in blue, and they are here to preserve law and order, and we all hope that they certainly do. Cookie Gilchrist fumbles! Recovered by Hamilton and lost, and then recovered once again by a member of the Ticats, looks like Tommy Grant. A minute and 59 seconds unofficially to the end of the ball game. Ticats 32, Blue Bombers 7. Blue Bombers' 7th fumble of the afternoon a moment or so ago, and they have lost the ball on 6 occasions. Draw your own conclusions on it. Gilchrist again trying the right side of the line. Pushed back by 3 or 4 men, including Roger Savoy, number 62, and big Buddy Tinsley at about 255, number 64. Cam Fraser going in. He'll boot downfield. And Latterell and Rowland will be the Bombers' deep men to receive. Fraser will kick from his 25-yard line. End-over-end punt chasing. Latterell bounces good for the Ticats. Latterell once again. Oh, man. Little Billy Graham should be hired by a wrestling promoter after that tackle. He got Latterell down on the 32-yard line. And when Ron put his cleats into the turf and decided to dig, Graham just picked him up and slammed him down on the ground. That was a 46-yard boot by Cam Fraser. He has a 43-yard average so far this afternoon. His season average was 46 plus. Mendick flanks out this way for Winnipeg. 1 minute flag is up. Mendick on the receiving end of that forward pass is nailed at the 44.5-yard line. Man who put the tackle on him was Ronnie Howell, number 82. Less than a minute to go with the flag up. Ticats by 32-7. Mendick once again is a short flanker. Goes for a pulls back, fakes once, fires down the middle, complete to Mendick again. He gets away from the first man, laterals. And the man on the receiving end of Mendick's lateral is stopped on the Ticat 53-yard line. It is a Winnipeg first down, however. Looks like Big Stav Kanakis, and that's who it is. Well, we have the ever-present bugler in the stands below us, blowing the familiar strains of "We Want a Touchdown," and he might have brought that bugle from the west, because the Ticats have 5 of them and the Blue Bombers just 1. 32-7. Time running. A flag on the field on the play. A little lad in a green jacket got that football and is going to be permitted to keep it over on the far side. The CRU provided 24 footballs before today's game. Not too many have gone for souvenirs, and one man, believe it or not, actually threw the ball back onto the field. Holding penalty is refused. There's the signal by the referee, Paul Dojak. And we have no football. This is the delay at the moment. Well, that is known as the kiss of death in the trade. Just mentioned the fact that the CRU produced 24 footballs and we haven't lost too many, and now we can't find one. Success. And the head linesman, Taylor Patterson from Regina, finally got one. In front of the Ticats bench, Jim Trimble is being snapped by many photographers, undoubtedly wearing a very happy grin. Bombers ball. 2nd and 10 on the Ticat 54-yard line. Roseboro back again. Getting lots of protection. He's trying to chase Miller out. He may be nailed. He is nailed by 4 members of the Ticats who were fighting in there to get at him. The gun has sounded, ladies and gentlemen. The 57 Grey Cup is over. And the final score is the Hamilton Ticats 32, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 7. And this is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup football telecast.
Well, there's a scene of confusion down on the field, as you can see, but it's orderly confusion because there are many, many representatives of the Metropolitan Toronto Police Force down in the field, and order is being maintained. There's a great deal of cheering, and the music you hear, of course, is that of the Tiger Cat Band with their orange and black, and they're really playing out there because they're very, very happy about this score, 32-7, in favor of their beloved Tiger Cats. Well, now, while we're waiting for Larry O'Brien to get organized downstairs for the presentation of the Grey Cup, let's get an opinion or two from Ted Reynolds and Steve Douglas, who have been calling the game for you this afternoon. Gentlemen, I'll take away some of your thunder by saying the 5 touchdowns scored by Hamilton represented almost perfection in football play this afternoon. They took advantage of every break they got, and Winnipeg gave them lots of breaks. On 4 fumbles, they got 4 touchdowns on a direct sequence of plays, and the other Hamilton touchdown came on an interception, directly off the interception. Now, Ted, you've been sitting there watching the last quarter. What is your opinion?
I never saw so many people moving in different directions in all my life, Bing. Well, I think that one fellow that you'll just have to give most of the plaudits to as a fellow who came in as a hero is this guy, Bobble. I don't think anybody's called him Bibbles Bobble up here all afternoon, so I will now, Steve. He started the whole thing when Jerry James lost control of the ball. It was not even touched to the ground before Mr. Bobble grabbed a hold of it and rambled 47 yards. He recovered another fumble by Jerry James. And then on an interception, he looked once more as though he could conceivably go all the way. That's when the unfortunate incident happened, of course, but it was no fault of Bobble's that he didn't. The fellow came up with a tremendous defensive display, and as far as I am concerned, being from out west, I saw a tremendously tough football team, just as tough as any you'll see in the West in this Hamilton crew.
Steve?
Well, I do have a few facts and figures here, Bing, from our demon statistician, Fred Scambatti, that I'd like to pass along. At the same moment, if I may take just a moment to doff the chapeau for the customary number 1 job done by Fred and by boss man spotter Hal Walker of the sports department of the Toronto Telegram, and Johnny Kearns assisting here in the booth, the former Argonaut player and assistant coach to Frank Clare, who undoubtedly will be on with Larry O'Brien in just a short time. The statistics of the game: 21-11 first downs for the Blue Bombers over Hamilton. The Bombers tried 29 passes, completed 16. Hamilton threw 15, completed just 5. The big story, as Ted mentioned, the fumbles. Winnipeg lost the ball 7 times, 6 times on 7 fumbles, and Hamilton lost just 2 out of 5. In the kicking department, the Winnipeg averaged 37.5, Ticats 41.5.
As a general comment on the game this afternoon, you always have to give the glory somewhere and place the blame somewhere else. It struck me that the majority of the faults today lay with the Winnipeg backfield. I thought the line played very well. What's your opinion, having seen them, Ted?
Well, somebody said to me last night, Bing, wouldn't it be unfortunate if Jerry James, the outstanding Canadian of the year, turned out to be a goat, if there has to be one? Well, somebody makes a goat anyway, whether there really is or not. But poor Jerry might be given that wretched mantle. He was the fellow who just couldn't hang on to the ball. Mind you, he was a marked man, and when the Hamilton team hits, it hits awfully hard. But Jerry James was very unfortunately, because he's a wonderful kid and a wonderful football player, on the receiving end of some of those bumps that shook the ball loose too many times for Winnipeg.
Steve?
I would like to pay tribute also, if I may, to the fellows who did such a fine job handling cameras this afternoon. Fellows like Dave Smith, Don Elsliger, Art White, Eamon Beglin, and Bill McKee. Thanks, boys, as usual, number 1.
Thank you very much, Steve Douglas and Ted Reynolds. And I understand that you chaps are off downstairs to join Larry O'Brien, and the people watching will see you during the presentation of the Grey Cup. We understand that everything is in readiness as far as Larry is concerned. The players have left the field, so we'll take you down to Larry O'Brien.
From room 11 here at Varsity Stadium, this is Larry O'Brien welcoming you to the Grey Cup presentation. With us, the Grey Cup, and Mr. Don Downey, president of the Canadian Rugby Union, representing the Hamilton Tiger Cats, their team captain, Steve Onischuk. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the CRU, Mr. Don Downey.
Thank you, Larry. Steve Onischuk, I want to congratulate you for your great display of today. And I know you are the captain of the Hamilton Wildcats. You put on a great show, and it gives me great, great pleasure indeed to present the Grey Cup to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Don Downey. Steve Onischuk, you must be a very happy man.
Certainly am. Thanks very much, Mr. Downey. I'm certainly receiving this on behalf of the team because it was a great team effort today and all year. Thanks very much.
Well, Steve, just one more point. You're a school teacher. This is now your fourth year, eh, with the Tiger Cats?
No, I've just completed my third year.
Third year. And you were playing cornerbacker today.
That's right.
What did you think of those triple flankers the Winnipeg Bombers were unleashing once in a while?
Well, they had an awful lot of blockers out there. Honest, I felt like I was in a washing machine sometimes.
Well, Steve Onachuk, congratulations, receiving the Grey Cup for the first time back to Hamilton since 1953.
Thanks very much, man.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, while the Hamilton Tiger Cat, the new Grey Cup champions, did unleash a terrific offense, we would like at this point to pay tribute to, shall we say, the unsung heroes, the defensive unit, led by their field general, Tony Cursillo. Tony, congratulations. Tony, I often meant to ask you, here you are, you worked the quarterback, worked the fullback. This year, of course, you stress defense. You're the number one fellow out there. Which position would you prefer, offense or defense?
It doesn't matter, Larry. As long as I get a chance to get used to what I'm playing. I'm used to playing defense now, and I think I can help the team right there. So I'd rather play defense. Bernie's doing a good job on offense, so there's no sense in switching us around.
Tony, you certainly did a wonderful job of calling plays today. Another thing that you did succeed in doing, among other things, is putting that rush on a great Winnipeg quarterback, Kenny Payne.
Yes, we didn't rush him too much. He's more of a running quarterback, so we weren't too much afraid of his passing. We were more afraid of his running.
You seem to have their plays very well taped, Tony.
That was because I watched the game over TV last night. I stayed up and watched that game last night, and I think I'm glad I watched it now because I picked up a lot of tips.
That really helped you.
Right.
Well, Tony Cursillo, you did a wonderful job as defensive field general for the new Grey Cup champion, Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Tony. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the defensive phase over to the offensive phase, the quarterback of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's going, Bernie. Only one thing. Edmonton there. The last time you were quarterbacking was with the Eskimos back in 1954 right here at Varsity Stadium.
That's right, Larry. It was. I was a little disappointed today, but Winnipeg gave us a great battle all day.
So you certainly called a great game out there. Gee, I like your faking out there. I like your ball handling. Among other things, you seem to unsettle that Winnipeg defense so considerably.
Well, we worked on it all week as to try to mix them up so that they would be confused quite a bit. And I think towards the end of the ball game, they were guessing wrong quite a bit.
You're running those trap plays right up that middle very effectively, too. You're calling a lot of running plays, as per usual, with your great Jerry McDougall and Cookie Gilchrist. Now, as to your passing phase, were you satisfied with that, too, Bernie?
No, I wasn't satisfied today. We dropped a few passes, and also my knuckleball wasn't breaking in there just right. But anyway, we won the ball game by a good margin. I think the boys put out a great effort. And those two power backs we got are terrific.
Well, it's been two great Saturdays in a row for you. In Hamilton last Saturday over the Alouettes, the beginning of the Big Four Championship, followed 1 week later by a Grey Cup victory here over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Congratulations to the field general, their top quarterback, Bernie Faloney.
Thanks, Larry.
All the best to you, sir. And now let's see who we have here in room 11 here at Varsity Stadium. We see now, a very great halfback, the gentleman who piled up the most yardage in the Big Four this season, from the Tiger Cats, number 95, Jerry McDougall. Hey there, Jerry. How you doing? Jerry, I think we should acquaint some of our Western fans with the fact that it was discovered by Hamilton, the fact that you are a Canadian.
That's
Do you
right.
mind telling us the story on that?
Well, actually, I knew I was Canadian before I came up here to Canada. And I told him back about it, but he didn't know the procedure or the ruling on it, you see. Then this Boyd Carter situation came out, and then automatically Jake Goddard got a hold of some high officials, and I was a Canadian.
Well, that's certainly great. After a very impressive record at UCLA, and with your great background, you've been a spark plug in this Hamilton's great year. Among other things, Jerry, what I'd like to ask you, this was your first look, of course, in the official play against the West. How did the West line look against your Eastern competition up front?
They're very rough, but not as good. They're very rough playing, but not as good as the East. I mean, Montreal's line is very tough.
It is, eh?
Yes.
And what about your blocking today, Jerry? Did you get enough of
it? More than enough. Those guys are really blocking real good.
Mind if I ask you a personal question after watching you all season, Jerry? I noticed that you prefer your going off tackle more than anything. You're an interior runner more than a wide open runner?
Well, actually, they were playing the outsides very tough, you see, and so the inside was open all day.
Yeah.
That was
Well, you
it.
did a wonderful job, Jerry, and so did the rest of your backfielders, and piling up some terrific yardage here this afternoon at the 1957 Grey Cup game. Congratulations, Jerry McDougall.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
And now we see, among other people we have with us, let's see now. We have Kenny Plain from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A little hard to see here, ladies and gentlemen, the dressing room of Varsity Stadium with these intense lights. Kenny Plain, great admiration for among the Eastern fans for you, sir. Now here's a cool, well-collected quarterback, one of the coolest that we've seen here ever played. 21 years of age. Ken, it was 1957 got off to a great start for you. You quarterbacked the Iowa team in the Rose Bowl. Now, at almost the conclusion of 1957, you're playing Canada's great national spectacle. Which sport gave you the bigger thrill? Professional with Winnipeg today or your Rose Bowl debut with Iowa?
Well, they were both a very big thrill. I think I'd have to say the Rose Bowl is probably a bigger thrill coming first. I think anything that happens first probably is a little bigger thrill, sticks with you a little longer. But certainly this Grey Cup was a tremendous spectacle, and I feel very honored to have the opportunity to play in it, and I think it's really tremendous.
Well, we admired your terrific running, especially your rollout passes. They're most effective and certainly sensational to watch. Only one thing, Ken, I thought you were quite seriously injured there for a while.
Well, I don't believe so. It's pretty hard to tell. I got hit from the side and hurt the knee a little, but it's one of those things you never know. It was all right.
You seem to prefer a rollout pass than the other one of just sinking back into your pocket, Ken. Is that correct?
You might say that. I think the offense we used in college, we got used to the rollout patterns. We use that type of patterns also. When we came up here, we had the same type of thing, and I like to roll out and pass. It gives you the option of running or passing. It kind of keeps you from getting over the barrel.
I see. Kenny, regarding your opposition today as compared to your opposition out west, how does Hamilton compare?
I think Hamilton has a very fine football club. I think they would give anybody in our conference a good, hard football game. I'd like to offer my congratulations to them. I thought they played a very fine game today and deserved the Grey Cup. They just wanted it more than we did, I guess.
Well, Kenny Plain, you deserve congratulations, too, leading your great Winnipeg team onto a Western Conference title. You certainly impressed us greatly here this afternoon. This is your first year in Canada, and we want to wish you the very best of luck and hope to see you back here again.
I hope so, too. Thank you very much.
And now from quarterback Kenny Plain, we have with us, well, another great ball player, ladies and gentlemen. Recently named the Canadian of the Year, Jerry James. Jerry, nice to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Jerry, did it take a little time this year to get back in shape regarding your legs after being out of football for 1 year?
Well, we had the two-a-day practices out in Winnipeg in July, and that helped me get my timing and everything straightened around that I'd lost the previous year.
Yeah. You were injured again today, Jerry?
Well, I don't want to sound making excuses or anything, but I did break my hand.
I didn't know it was broken.
Or I don't know what it is, but I thought Hamilton played a very fine ball game, and when we played against them in '53, they played exactly the same way as they did then.
They did, eh?
Yeah.
Jerry, it's been a big year for you. You established 2 records out in the Western Conference this year. You compiled a record-breaking 131 points, I think, as well as 19 touchdowns. That's quite a comeback in view of the fact that you're out of hockey for 1 year. Especially in those playoffs against Edmonton, do you feel that maybe the team psychologically played so many games out there, let's see, 5 games in 13 days or something? Were you boys that tired today, Jerry, do you figure?
Not tired especially, but a little crocked up. We used quite a few needles in our dressing room before the game. We used 3 balls of Novocaine just to get the boys out there. And I don't want to make any excuses, as I said before, but
that's right.
But it was a.
Well, we heard a lot of reports
ball game.
about your injuries, Jerry, especially in that Western final. Congratulations to you for your great year, 2 records this year, and of course of leading your great attack to another Western championship. Congratulations, Jerry James.
Thank you very much.
And watch yourself now, boy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. We have over here the coach of the new Canadian champions, Jim Trimble.
Larry,
Jim,
how are you?
congratulations.
Thanks
Gee,
very
you
much.
must be proud of those boys.
Very, very proud, Larry. I thought they did a really excellent job.
I don't want to say anything, Jim Trimble, but didn't you predict just a few days ago that the winning team would end up with something like 30 points?
I thought it'd be about 31-12, 31-14. I thought we'd beat them about 4 touchdowns to 2.
One thing I admired about you today, I shouldn't say admired, I should say amazed. You had a 13-point lead, racked up pretty early in the ball game, Jim. But you didn't play it close to the vest. You still played a wide open game. Were you taking a bit of a chance there?
Well, I don't think so. I think that's the type of football that's necessary in the Grey Cup game, Larry. This Winnipeg team, we didn't feel like 13 points was nearly enough. They're a great ball club and certainly ought to be congratulated on their fine play.
Well, they certainly did put up a very fine exhibition. I noticed, Jim, regarding your overall strategy today, you succeeded in inserting more pass plays than you have been during the current season, along with your strong running attack.
Yes, we felt all along that we had capabilities of throwing. The fact that we didn't was because we felt like we had better runners, and we feel like we hurt people more, and that was pretty evident in the second half today. We ground them out and ran over them. Then
the strategy certainly paid off. Did I hear you say last night or this morning the fact that you're taking off right after the game to try and land talent for 1958 already?
Well, you always have to keep busy. We think we have fine talent now, but we'll be looking. We'll be looking.
Jim Trimble, thank you very much for joining us, and
Larry.
congratulations once again on winning the Grey Cup and bringing the Grey Cup back to Hamilton.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the stars, of course, as well, of the new Canadian champion Hamilton Tiger Cats, the president of the CRU for joining us here in the dressing room. And this is Larry O'Brien wrapping it up here in the dressing room at Varsity Stadium.